Attention, dear listeners. It's Libra here. This is your official spoiler warning. We're talking the new Superman movie, James Gunn's bold kickoff to the DC universe. Major plot points and surprises ahead. If you haven't seen it yet, now's the time to pause. You've been warned.
Welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. My name is Spenser, and I'm one of your hosts on this podcast. And today I'm joined by the other two members of the League of Melanated Gentlemen to give you one of a few reviews.
Yes, sir. This is Brandon.
And of course, I am Jordan.
Oh, but wait! There's more. Today we have a guest who has been here before, but a guest who has never been on the main podcast for a review. Cassidy is joining us today. Cassidy, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
Happy to be here. I am happy to be here. So, before we get to reviewing anything, we must first tell you about the places where you can find us, reach us, contact us, and tell us how you feel about the things. And Jordan has that information for you right now.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on all that. We are all at the League of Melanated Gentlemen. There's a lot of words right there. Or you can look up LMG Podcast. That is also where you can, get with us, talk with us, chat with us, and give us all your thoughts on, the movie. And then also don't forget to rate and review us on whichever streaming service that you use, and subscribe to YouTube, all the good stuff. Schedule updates. Hopefully, check this out on Mondays. But if not, there's always other days out of the week you can catch us. On Tuesdays, bi-weekly, actually, this Tuesday, we have LMG Presents Marvel Multiverse RPG. That is a Marvel role playing game that we play here on the channel. And we have another Lethal Incursion, so a good 2-on-2 matchup there. Then on Wednesdays, we have Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. It's been a while, but Brandon could make a comeback at any moment. Kind of like Brett Favre, you never know, he might come back randomly, to the league. But there's that. And then bi-weekly, of course, is DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. That is Spenser's review podcast where he is going through the entirety of the DC universe and what a time DC episode for DC movies. Spencer, what movie you got?
This week we will be reviewing Legion of Superheroes.
There you have it. So be sure and check the movie out and check out the review on be sure and listen to any of the other reviews that's been out there.
Yes, yes, indeed. So, a couple things before we start. Firstly, we have a wonderful AI who has already issued the spoiler warning. So, if you have not seen DC's newest hotness, Superman, then you should probably go do that before you listen to this episode. If you're not worried about spoilers, cool. Secondly, I probably don't sound the way I normally do because I am traveling. I am not at home. I do not have my main mic. And that didn't we didn't think that should stop you from getting a review. This is arguably
Is it arguably? I don't know.
Oh, for
arguably
sure. For sure.
the biggest movie of the year, and we had to make sure that we were here for you on that. So while I may not sound as crisp as I usually do, I'm still here to make sure that we give you our own feelings and opinions because that's what we're here to do. Now, Cassidy, for the people who have never heard your voice, could you tell them a little bit about your relationship with Superman before we get into this?
Wait, quick thing. This is not Cassie's first time on the main podcast, is it?
It is her first time doing a review, but it's not her first
Oh, a
time on the main
review.
podcast.
Okay. I got you.
No, she's absolutely been
I
on
was
the
like,
main podcast.
I thought so.
I've
Yeah.
been on
And
at least one, I think.
and she's been on my podcast. She's reviewed several things with me, but on the main podcast, she has not been on a review.
Gosh, okay.
So I'd say I have a very strong relationship with Clark Kent specifically. I grew up watching Smallville, and it's my favorite TV show. I've rewatched it multiple times. I also am a big fan of OG Christopher Reeve films. And Spencer has introduced me to plenty of new Superman animation films that I had not experienced previously that I've been enjoying when he does offer them up to me.
Nice.
Yes. So yeah, you and Superman go way back.
Well, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, today it's a review of, again, DC's newest hotness, Superman. I will read a synopsis in my own words, and then we got a few things to talk about before we get into the movie itself. So we open in the ice. We receive a brief explanation of metahumans and Superman's arrival to Earth before he ends up on the ground with a beaten ass for the first time in his life by the hammer of Bravia. He calls Crypto and he is taken back to the Fortress of Solitude where he's able to heal. The message that his parents sent along with him was damaged, but he does listen to the first part of it because it brings him comfort. Once Superman has healed enough, he goes back into the fight, but the hammer is simply too much for our hero. Turns out Lex is controlling the hammer. The engineer is able to follow Superman and discover the Fortress of Solitude, and she reports back to Lex. 3 weeks ago, Superman stopped Bravia from invading Jaunpur, and since Bravia is a U.S. ally, Lex uses that as an excuse to justify killing Superman in a meeting with the U.S. government. Clark goes to work at the Daily Planet, and we meet Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. That evening, Clark is in Lois's apartment cooking dinner because they've been dating for a while. Clark decides to let Lois interview Superman, and she hits him in the mouth with some journalism, which leads to them having a fight, and Clark leaves. Over in Antarctica, Lex breaks into the Fortress of Solitude, dognaps Crypto, destroys the robots, and the engineer siphons all of the information from the computer. They undamage the message from Superman's parents and play it for the world, revealing that Superman was actually sent to conquer Earth. Meanwhile, Superman is in Metropolis fighting a fire breathing kaiju. He gets some help from the Justice Gang, and they are able to kill the kaiju. The people are happy that the day was saved, but then Lex gets on the news and plays the full message from Superman's parents, so public opinion immediately puts Superman on the nigga go die list. Superman has a discussion with Lois, then he pulls up on Lex asking where Crypto is, but of course, Lex claims he has no idea what he's talking about. Superman decides to turn himself into the US government, and they outsource Superman's arrest to Lex, who places him in a pocket dimension prison. He uses Metamorpho to create kryptonite to keep Superman weak. Eve is feeding Jimmy information about Lex in hopes that they can get together, and Lois goes to visit the Justice Gang and asks them to help rescue Superman. Mr. Terrific is the only one willing to help, and they make their way to Superman's last known location. Over in the pocket dimension, Lex brings a man that helped Superman earlier in the movie and ends up killing him during an interrogation. Metamorpho is horrified and decides to help Superman escape by producing a tiny sun to re energize him. Superman is able to save Metamorpho's baby and Crypto, and Mr. Terrific arrives to handle all of the Lex goons, and he goes into the pocket dimension and he is able to lead Superman out before the portal closes. Lois takes Superman back to Smallville so that he can heal and get a word of advice from Jonathan Kent. Lex finds out that Superman escaped and he is irate. He decides to open the pocket dimension, which starts tearing the world apart in order to lure Superman out. Eve sends Jimmy everything on Lex, and they are able to use that to expose him. Superman makes his way to Metropolis to fight the Engineer and Black Noir. I mean, Ultraman. And it turns out that he is a clone of Superman that Lex created to kill Superman. Superman is getting his ass beat yet again until he calls for Crypto, who comes in clutch. Superman is able to knock out the Engineer and send Black Noir into the black hole. I mean, Ultraman. Over in Jarhanpur, The Justice Gang and Metamorpho are able to stop the Barabian invasion. Superman and Mr. Terrific pull up on Lex to close everything up. The Daily Planet puts out the story that Lex is a piece of shit. Superman is taken off the nigga go die list by the public, and Lex is sent to Bel Rev, and everybody that Lex trapped is released from the pocket dimension. Superman is visited by his cousin Supergirl. He watches old home videos with his time with the Kents, and after some credits, he tells Mr. Terrific that the building he saved from being ripped apart is a little off. And Mr. Terrific starts punching the air. And that's the big thing.
Good
Good work,
work.
right
Good
there.
work.
That's a good job right there. Repeated the whole movie.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do what I can. So before we get into the film, I would like to open up a teaching moment for a couple of characters that have not yet been seen on the big screen. And we're just going to do two today. I know that there are several characters that this is their first appearance on the big screen, but the main people that I want to talk about today are Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific. Brandon, could you tell us a little bit about Guy Gardner?
Yes. Guy Gardner. Basically the black sheep of the Green Lantern Corps. He's kind of like, I mean, the dude is just, I mean, he's an asshole for lack of a better term. It's interesting. His backstory from Baltimore, lives in New York City, obviously is off planet a lot. Interestingly enough, he had a very dark background with his parents and his brother. So it kind of shaped his sense of humor, his sensibilities. But also, he was kind of lucky and unlucky at the same time. So when the alien, the Green Lantern alien, the dying alien, I think it was Eben Sure, came down to Earth and landed, and obviously was dying. You know, the story everybody knows is that the Green Lantern ring goes to Hal Jordan because he was right there, right? But Guy Gardner was not far away. He was only a few miles away from that accident. So it could have if he was a few miles closer, he could have very well been the first human Green Lantern. So Guy Gardner, from that point, eventually goes through a lot of craziness to get the ring, but he is inserted into the Green Lantern Corps, and he's kind of, like I said, he's known as the person nobody wants to work with, right? We've seen it plenty of iterations. I'm sure Spenser may have covered it in some of the movies, like Superman, Batman. Like when they bring up like our new Justice League members, like we need to bring somebody in. Guy Gardner's name pops up, and they're like, hell no. Like we don't want to work. We don't want to work with him. That's not a guy anybody wants to work with, right? He's a solo guy, as you saw in this movie. Definitely not someone you want leading anything, but specifically, you don't even want him as a teammate. So Guy Gardner, very complicated character. Has had some moments in the comics history where he's been a villain, but for the most part, he is a hero who's complicated. Him and John Stewart, as you can imagine, have a very combative relationship, as John Stewart's very military, very by the rules. Guy Gardner is not that at all. So Guy Gardner, again, is just your consummate, complicated hero who's pretty funny. Definitely this movie kind of represents him in a comic fashion. But yeah, Guy Gardner, he's a very good, very capable Green Lantern, but a very complicated Green Lantern.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to the comic creators because I like doing that. Created
Yeah.
by John Broome and Gil Kane. First appearance, Green Lantern, Volume 2, number 59, in March of 1968.
Yep.
Yeah. We have seen an animation where the other Green Lanterns are like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like they're at the table and they're like, what about Guy Gardner? Hal and John are both like, no.
Right.
And it's like, well, I mean, no.
Right.
So yeah. Guy is pretty prominent in Batman Brave and the Bold, which
Mhm.
is an animated series. So as far as on screen, that is probably the most time people have gotten with Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Mr. Terrific for just a little bit. So Mr. Terrific first appeared in 1942, and he was a white dude who was a part of the Justice Society. Now, the Mr. Terrific that we know is the second Mr. Terrific, and our Mr. Terrific, his name is Michael Holt. And he first appeared in 1997 in a Spectre comic. So he was, about to kill himself. He was about to throw himself off of a bridge because his wife was dead and he felt like he had nothing to live for. And the Spectre tells him about the first Mr. Terrific who uh, ended up also getting killed. Now, Spectre explains this leaves a void because Superman and Batman, they're like large scale. People can, idolize them, but they can't really aspire to be like them. We need a guy who is actually street level. We need somebody that can help kids not fall into crime or anything negative. So whenever it was the white Mr. Terrific in the 40s, it was like, gangster, like Al Capone style gangsters that he was trying to, keep kids from. In 1997, the black Mr. Terrific was trying to keep kids out of, falling into gang activity. So it was a situation where he was like, I'm not saying that anybody can be replaced here, but there is a void for somebody who can positively impact people's lives. And that is your purpose, Spectre tells him. So he is able to do that. And he had a bunch of accomplishments. He's known as the third smartest man.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's probably number two, but it's difficult to say because sometimes he's the third smartest behind Lex and Batman. Other times Batman will say, "Oh, this is above my pay grade. Like
Yeah.
I don't have knowledge on this." And we're talking about on Earth because if you go beyond Earth, it's probably Brainiac. But on Earth, you could make an argument that Lex is definitely up there because the what Lex is actually able to accomplish is crazy, but because he's a dirty capitalist, like, you know, uh
Yeah.
like Lex would cure cancer and then be like, but make it a 3-year program, make it
Yeah.
slow. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah, that's
Right.
that's the kind of shit Lex is on.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Terrific, I would argue, is smarter than Batman. Batman might know more about the world, but like
Mm.
theoretical physics, I think Mr. Terrific's got him beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it depends on who you ask, but Mr. Terrific is easily in the top five of earthly intelligence. Also, one thing about Mr. Terrific, his T spheres are his main thing, and they can pretty much do everything. Uh, Again, like that, Batman is not going to be able to figure out the T spheres. In the movie Injustice, whenever Superman is a tyrant, Superman goes to Mr. Terrific and says, "Hey, I need your T spheres to surveil the Earth." And Mr. Terrific is like, "Hell no, we're not doing that." So he puts Mr. Terrific in prison and then, just starts using the T spheres. And Batman is like, I can't reprogram these. We need Mr. Terrific. We got to bust him out. Like I
Mm.
can't do that. That's above me.
So you mean to
Yeah.
tell me with all the prep time, Batman can't figure out the T-Spears?
Correct. Like Batman
Thought Batman was
tried and
undefeatable with
well,
prep time.
Batman tried and he was like, "Nah, I need Curtis or I need Michael. He gotta do it."
Yeah.
Um so the T spheres are, able to do everything. And also, one thing that a lot of people don't know about Mr. Terrific is the mask that he wears. It basically makes him invisible to technology. Like it will cloak him from facial recognition, it cloaks him from motion sensors, it cloaks him from infrared. Like he is a ghost with that mask. And that is that's top tier talent.
Yeah. I will say I've loved pretty much. I love the character Mr. Terrific, and I think overall DC's done a good job with him. Like the comics, Mr. Terrific's always fire, and even in Arrow, Mr. Terrific was cool. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? He was great. And then
And
we'll talk about this movie, but yeah, like Mr. Terrific is one of those like. I mean, we talk about DC Marvel, but he's one of those like DC got bench players for DC that is actually like elite. you know.
Yes, DC's got a deep roster.
Right.
And Mr. Terrific is a part of that because a lot of people don't know who Mr. Terrific is, but Mr. Terrific is able to get a lot done. I think that most people would know him from the Arrowverse, which is why I accidentally called him Curtis because in the
Yeah,
Arrowverse it's Curtis.
yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Terrific is he's one of the smartest people on Earth, like hands down.
Yeah.
And he's able to do a lot that others just can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Mr. Terrific. So, Superman, Cassidy,
Yes.
what were your just out of the door thoughts
Out of the door thoughts.
on the movie as a whole? Like,
Movie as a whole.
yeah, you walked out of, yeah, like credits are over, you walked out. What are you thinking?
I walked out feeling just as excited as I was when I walked in. Felt like I felt like Superman was back, Clark Kent was back. Like this was the merging of the characters that I had missed in more recent iterations, live action wise, with him. Um, and I left wanting to see it again immediately, to be so frank. And I really appreciated the characters that I did know, how they were taken on, and I thought everybody did a good job.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a really good job this movie. It's kind of nice since I like don't know these characters that much at all. Like I didn't know who Mr. Terrific was. But it's kind of nice going into a comic book movie where I don't know what's going on. So I
Mm.
do say like I do like that about like DC movies or either other superhero movies. But I think for James Gunn's first introduction to the DC universe, I think he did a really good job. And I only had two moments where I had to pause the movie and be like, "Hang on a second." But I'll get into that later.
Okay, okay, Brandon.
Yeah, this was the biggest movie of the year. You know, I know Jordan's going to say Fantastic Four, but we know this is the biggest movie of the year. This is probably the biggest IP in the world. You know what I mean? Like in history, American history, anyways. Um, and so I had high expectations. I will say, like, of the trail, like this is the most I've ever watched a trailer, like ever. Like I've never watched a trailer for anything that much. Like I watched Infinity War probably 30 times and I was excited every time I watched it. This, I mean, I watched, and you know me, like I tried to do the whole I'm not watching trailer rule. No, this one, I enjoyed the trailer every time I watched it because it felt like someone finally understood Superman, and just listening to James Gunn talk about Superman and Corn Sweat talk about Superman, it was like, oh damn, like he gets it. Because it's like when you hear Zack Snyder talk about Superman, it's like, and I kind of like this, but I don't necessarily love it. It's like Zack Snyder only cares about the godlike level of Superman. He doesn't give a damn about Clark Kent. He doesn't care about any of his side characters. He doesn't care about literally anything other than this dude can fly. He's strong. He can, beam out of his eyes. That's the only thing Zack Snyder cares about. And Lois is the only thing that can make him snap. And so that's all he cared about. So it's nice to see James Gunn kind of like hug everything that is involved with Superman. You know what I mean? From his sidekick, his friends, Daily Planet, Metropolis, you know what I mean? Fortune of Solitude, all that. Like he brought all it. As corny as some of it is, he was like, hey, bring it. Like I want it all, and it's just like we haven't had anybody do that since, I mean, the early Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. So it's like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. I only had two real issues, but they were kind of minor. It kind of didn't really matter. And so, yeah, I thought we'll talk about it more, but I thought the character portrayals were spot on. And I will say, to me, James Gunn is the best caster of anybody doing it. Like, I think he's the best at casting of anybody doing it. He did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. He picked people that people were like, who the hell? You picked Batista to be, you know what I mean? Like, you just did, like, all kind of stuff he does where you're like, and then you got to be like, all right, I got to trust him. And he hits it out the ballpark every time. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it's my favorite Superman movie ever.
Okay, Okay. I thought that this was a really good representation of Superman.
Mhm.
And as I've said before, I trust James Gunn, so I wasn't super worried. I do want to talk to everybody, and I think I know the answer to this, but what were your expectations going in? Because there are a lot of people who expected this to be the greatest thing we were ever going to see. There are people who expected nothing from this. There are people that expected this to be garbage just because they are, done with DC live action. There are some people that expected this to be a pure comedy because James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy. So what were your expectations going into this? Like, were you thinking that this is going to be the best Superman movie that we ever see? Were you thinking something different? What did you go in with? Jordan, I'll start with you.
I mean, I had none. I mean, to be honest, if we didn't do this podcast, I probably wouldn't have saw it, so soon. I probably would waited till it hit HBO Max. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have any expectations. I only ever watched the first trailer, and I barely remember that one. But yeah, I didn't really have no expectations. I did think that he had to get it right, in order to course correct the DC, universe. And I think for him to have his first movie, do that, I think he knocked it out the park, I think.
Yeah, today.
I will say initially when I heard James Gunn was going to do it, I was worried because I like the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I didn't want a Guardians of the Galaxy style Superman, and in my mind, I was worried that was going to happen. And Spencer, I remember talking to you about this way back when it was announced, and you were like, James Gunn, he'll do what he needs to do. And I was like, okay. But then to Brandon's casting note, I remember when the initial cast was released and Rachel Brosnahan was announced as Lois, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, hold on. That
Right.
is like an excellent choice for Lois. So I got a little bit more excited then. And I don't have a no watch trailer rule. And I remember the day that the trailer came out because I believe I texted Spencer immediately and said, hey, I know you're not going to watch this, but I just need you to know that I've watched this trailer 5 times already today. And I
Dang.
just goosebumps all around. And then when the cast started doing their press tour recently too, just the way that they were talking about this movie and specifically, again, I bring up that I watched Smallville a bunch as a kid, and they're bringing up Smallville in their interviews and stuff
Yeah.
too. And that's not something I've heard from a lot of newer Superman content. So I was like, okay, they know more than just the, not that Smallville isn't common knowledge, but like the bringing up of Tom Welling and respecting that kind of Clark. I was like, they're going to lean into Clark a lot too, then, if they're talking about that. So
Yeah.
I started my journey thinking, I was like, I don't know about this. And then James Gunn kept proving me wrong before I ever even saw the movie. He was like, don't worry, we got him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brandon.
For me, I'll be honest, I kind of was so when we did, I don't know if you remember, but we did a DC episode where James Gunn was explaining, he basically explained his his plan for the DCU. And he basically said, hey, our first movie is going to be Superman. It's going to be based off of All-Star Superman. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and honestly, just hearing him talk about Superman, I didn't obviously know what was going to happen in the movie, but I kind of had a feeling that, okay, he understands what Superman is. I didn't know, I wasn't sure about the comedy part. I wasn't sure about the action or anything like that, or who the villain would be or anything. But I did have a feeling that he was going to write him in a way to where like this is like this is the Superman we know him to be. Whereas Man of Steel is more of the minority. Like most people don't think of Superman as this brooding, you know, tearing down buildings and not saving anybody. He just tore a building down for, you know what I mean? Like just murdering people just as casualty. Like that's just not who Superman is. So it kind of felt like he understood who Superman is. So I got that. Like I got the tone. I felt like expectations for the tone of the movie, I got pretty spot on. As far as like the quality, I wasn't. I trusted James Gunn, but you know how it is. Like now, you can trust as much as you want, but it could still not execute. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I went into this expecting it to be excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, again, I trust James Gunn, and we are in a situation where missing was not an option.
Right.
Like you can't miss on this for a couple reasons. One, you are opening the new DC universe, and we know what happened with the old one. Like there's a reason the old one had projects that were actively being worked on and they were just scrapped.
Yeah.
Like they
Literally
just
finished, and they were like, "No, we're not gonna put this out."
yeah, no, we're
Yeah.
done with that. Like there's a reason that they just hit the done button without any negotiating. Like no, we're done here.
Hmm.
So it's your introduction, and it's Superman,
Right.
like the face of superheroes
Hmm.
across the board, like
Right.
the face of superheroes, not DC, not the face of superheroes. And so you getting it wrong was not on the table. It
Right.
was not an option. And so with that being the case, I expected this movie to be excellent. And if it wasn't, it was going to be catastrophic.
Yeah. It would have been rough.
Yeah, like not good. And I agree. I think that he captured the character of Superman well. So you brought up his casting. We are going to go through the cast because there are a lot of people to talk about. How do we feel about Superman?
Oh man, that's my Superman right there. That's my Superman, dog. Like Clark Kent, like they did a great job of distinguishing between the two people. You didn't get a ton of Clark in this, but I think we all know why we were there. We didn't buy our ticket to go see Clark Kent, right? Like we like him, but that's not why you bought a ticket to go see. You know what I mean? You want to see Superman. So I get it. Now the next movie they'll probably dive deeper into Clark and stuff. But yeah, I just thought Corn Sweat, I mean, knocks it out the park. Again, he comes out of nowhere. No one knew him that at least I didn't know him. I thought he represented Superman perfectly, honestly. Like he was corny when he needed to be. He was smart when he needed to be. He was also like open-hearted, which that's why I love Superman. He's smart, but he's open-hearted as well. Like so he's trying to save people, but he's not naive. You know what I mean? And he's not stupid. So I thought tone-wise and the silly jokes and all that stuff, I thought he was great.
I tend to agree. I was, I think his Superman work was good, but I was impressed by his Clark work
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's the one that you have to really differentiate. Because Superman, I'm not going to say Superman is easy to pull off, but like there's specific
All you
things.
gotta do is look heroic with
Yeah,
Superman.
yeah. Like
So,
there are some
so
things that you can get away with as Superman. Because like Henry Cavill, I love Man of Steel, and as far as the look, perfect. He was a great looking Superman. Um, but as far as character wise, he didn't do a lot,
yeah.
and it was kind of okay. But with this, again, Clark is where you're really gonna have to show me something.
Mm,
If you can give me a good Clark, then you're actually acting, in my opinion, because
yeah.
as you said, differentiating between the two is one of the because Clark is Superman being in character. So it's not only that the actor has to play somebody in character,
Mm,
and the actor has to play a person who's pretending to be certain things.
Oh, you mean like from Tropic Thunder? I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yes, just like that.
Okay.
So
didn't think we'd talk about Drop Thunder today, but all right.
yeah,
I
like
respect it.
that's a pull, but
Yeah.
good. So yeah, I was impressed with his Clark work, and his Superman work, of course, was good. Cassie, what'd you think?
I agree big time on the Clark stuff because, yeah, we didn't get a lot of specifically Clark on screen, but he is Clark Kent at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
that's who that man is. And he had that charm that I expect, that boyish farm boy charm. Like, he's just this small town dude at the end of the day and had those quirks and qualities about him that I rewatched Man of Steel today actually to make sure I wasn't super biased between the two. Um,
Yeah.
and just Henry Cavill did not give that kind of he's got a great Superman look. I 100% agree with that. Like he looks so cool and it's beautiful and all that, but there's a certain charm that David brought to this role that is just so Clark, and it's
Hmm.
so good, and I think he did a really good job. I've seen him in a couple of other things before this, but he's not, this is his big role. And I do appreciate casting wise that they still went with someone relatively unknown to the general population. I
Yeah.
think that adds a good Clark layer to it all, Superman layer to it all. But
Yeah.
I think he did a great thing with this role and he really got into it the way he needed to.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Like as far as Clark Kent, he's pretty good. He was very convincing when he was like sitting talking to his pop. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
that was a very sincere like Clark Kent moment.
Yeah.
Um I even when he was just like in the his Daily Bugle, or is that Spider-Man? The Daily
That's
That's
Planet.
about it.
there you
Yeah.
go.
The Daily Planet. Even when he was like, in there talking with all his other coworkers and everything, like I thought he was pretty convincing as Clark Kent. Now I don't know I don't know, like every time I picture Superman, I just picture him just like massive. And I feel like he wasn't super massive, but that's probably just, I'm sure there's a bunch of different iterations of Superman where he looks smaller, bigger, taller, shorter. So I feel like there's that. You gonna
I
say
feel
something?
like anytime Superman is drawn, he's huge.
Yeah.
And like
So
I
like
said, I have so many references to him drawn versus live
yeah,
action.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like Superman is one of those people like you're not gonna find somebody who's anatomically proportioned the way Superman is
Yeah.
drawn.
No.
Like that's just not
Yeah.
like Superman. You'd have to add stuff to the suit in
Yeah.
order to make him look like he probably would.
Yeah.
And James Gunn apparently, like he said, he didn't want a muscle suit.
Yeah, I read he wasn't trying
Yeah.
to emphasize stuff that wasn't there kind of thing.
Right.
To be like,
Right.
this is the guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he's Kryptonian, so he doesn't need to be physically large to be strong. Like he doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Supergirl does like that's the part of being Kryptonian. You just got it, regardless of
Yeah.
what you look like. So Lois, what do we think?
I mean, she was. I mean, literally, that was Lois Lane to me. Like that's, and it sucks because I feel bad for like the previous Lois Lane. Some of them kind of got like tough gigs. You know what I mean? Zack Snyder didn't give a damn about Lois
Oh,
Lane.
no,
Like
not at all. Like
she was, yeah,
yeah, like irrelevant.
yeah.
Like
She
that
was just a
wasn't
woman
even.
in distress. Like
I
that's all
think
that
that
was.
And
I
that's not who Lois is.
Yeah, exactly. At
I
all.
think that who was it? Amy Adams.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Amy Adams is probably a better actress, but that version of Lois didn't have a lot to do. No, like
yeah,
I I had trouble remembering that was Lois.
yeah. I know. She doesn't even look like the comic version of like it's nothing. Yeah,
This was Lois.
yeah,
I
100%.
like
Like,
when they had her like interviewing Superman.
oh yeah,
Superman.
Mhm.
yeah.
Like that was a good scene right
That
there.
was
This was
fire. Like,
this was Lois. Like
yeah,
yeah, like she was really good.
yeah.
I have no notes for Lois.
Saying like, and the fact that like I love the My Adventures of Superman, the animated series. Like that was a perfect Lois to me, and I was like, I don't know if they can top that. But with this, it was perfect because she's like, she isn't like a victim. She isn't, on her heels. Like, oh man, what is Superman? Like, she was in the trenches. Like, she was like, no, I'm gonna go to this
And
pocket
she
universe.
was never in distress either, like the
Yeah,
entire
exactly.
time.
Never in
She was her
distress.
own hero of the story.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Like, it was her and Mr. Terrific figuring things out
Right.
Yeah.
to try
Like
to, find Superman.
like Superman never saved her,
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
which is
I-
normally what we see with Lois. So
Right.
that was a different take, but I like it. Now, Lex. I am way more picky about my Lex than my Superman.
Yeah.
Way more picky. So, whenever they announced the casting for Lex, I was in the middle, but optimistic because I thought I have seen this man act and he really hasn't missed. Like
Mhm.
everything I've seen him in, he was excellent.
Right.
and I think that he can do a specific version of Lex because Lex kind of has two main versions. There's the version that we see in the Justice League, Superman the animated series universe, the 90s 2000s Lex, who is hyper masculine.
Yeah.
And then there's the version of Lex where we see them lean more like that version of Lex is a lot more businessman than genius.
Mm.
Then we have the genius more than businessman Lex, who is brilliant and arrogant and obsessed and all of that. And I was very happy with the Lex we got. I think he did an excellent job. Um, and like, if I'm gonna compare him to another Lex, like I know that he probably should not be named, but Kevin Spacey was an excellent Lex,
He was.
and I think we're in that range.
Mm.
I think they're batting the same.
Same percentage. I like.
Yeah, like they yeah.
Yeah.
I was quite happy with this Lex because that's what I was worried about. Because again,
Yeah.
I'm way more picky about my Lex than I
Mm.
am about my Superman.
Yeah.
Cassidy.
I too, when his announcement came, I've not seen anything that he's not done well in, but I was just like, okay, which route are they going? Because I also think they've gone a very specific route with the live action movie versions of Lex that we've seen. And so I was like, okay, he doesn't necessarily fit the vibe visually of these other guys that we've gotten going on. So I was like, okay, which has nothing to do with his acting, but I was like, this is an interesting way to go about it. But I agree on par with Kevin Spacey. I know Spencer on your podcast, we talk a lot. I always bring up Kevin Spacey at some point because honestly, he did such a phenomenal job as Lex. You can't deny it. That's
Right.
such a good iteration of Lex. And I think Nick Holt did so great in this. He's just hating so
Yeah.
hard. And
100%.
it's so good. And it's so just, he does not care. And I just loved seeing a super smart Lex and seeing a Lex that just so envious and hateful and
Such a hater.
such
And
a hater.
like he's
Yeah.
a hater and he understands the importance of public opinion
Yep.
and he is, manipulating the what's being viewed.
Hmm.
Like that's
Yes.
very Lex
Yeah.
is
Yes.
to work the narrative.
Yeah.
And I really
And
appreciated that a lot because, again, with the Smallville Lex, he was also very in the public and trying to like move people's like this is what you should be seeing and everything. Like he tried to get into politics, stuff like that, like very front facing of everything. And this Lex was like, while watching it, I was like, oh, he's like in front of these people, like really just showing them like his way of things and so stellar. And then he got for a role like that too, with the comedic route that this movie went a bit more. I think he did a beautiful job
Oh yeah.
that as well. Like,
That's what I was gonna mention too.
yeah,
Like I like
Yeah.
that he also threw a little comedic element in.
his
Yeah.
but his like physical comedy was really great and just I think he threw it out of the park, hit it out of the park for sure.
great.
Yeah. He the when he kept knocking them pencils off the counter.
Oh,
That was
dude,
that
I
was
ain't gonna
funny.
lie. I was pissed for them. Like I was pissed.
I was cracking up, bro. And just his acting overall was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed this Lex. Honestly, there was times where he was walking around and I was like, yo, this is like Superman animated series type Lex. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the way he was talking, the quickness in which like I don't know, his cadence and then the little stuff he was doing. He always had a backup plan. Like when he knew the world was splitting, he had the boom, popped out the little ship. Like, that's very Lex. You know
I
what I'm
ain't gonna lie. I thought
saying?
he was about to get away from Superman too. There at the end, like I
Yeah, I
thought he was about
know.
to find his way out. Like he
I
was standing
know.
there. I was like, he about to like try to run through this portal. He gonna jump out the building. Like I feel like he
Yeah.
gonna do something.
I wouldn't have been surprised either. I will say they did a very funny little like pump fake. So in the trailer, they like they're doing basically in the trailer, they're playing the interview part, right, with Lois and Clark. And they talk about, and Lois asks him, did you get approval from the president to then go blah 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 blah? And when she says president, boom, it shows Lex. And so I'm like, oh snap, they're going to that storyline.
Like
you
Lex
know what I
was the
mean?
president.
Yeah, so I was like, oh snap, they're going there. Like I didn't think they jumped there that fast, but it was still interesting. So that was like a pump fake. I was like, oh okay, like he knows what we were trying to think of or get ahead of ourselves. But no, I thought he was an amazing Lex. He was emotional. I low-key felt sorry for him at the end when he was getting arrested. He was crying. He was just like,
that's what I thought. He was about to like jump out the building, like he was going to escape
bro,
or
like
something.
homie really hates this man. Like will kill, will murder, and then when he shot homie, bro. That was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, but necessary.
So necessary for Lex, though, 100%.
Yeah.
Like when he did it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay," but I'm glad that they did that. Though.
Exactly.
Yeah, my wife leaned over to her. She's like, "Oh wow, this is kind of dark."
And
whenever that happened, like I said, like I know he's going to shoot him because, and the reason I knew it, I was like, "This is a James Gunn movie.
Yeah,
that man's going to die."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was talking to my sister too. I was like, if when it happened too, I was like, I don't think I would have been as happy with the Lex too if he hadn't have followed through on that. Because that's exactly the kind of like he's this like put together thing, and he's no nonsense. At the end of the day, Lex is going to do what he says he's going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, he needed that kill for us to make him unlikable. So yeah, that was tough.
The next person I want to talk about, Jimmy Olsen.
Oh,
I'll be honest. I didn't really care for him. I'll be honest.
What?
Cool. I don't think that there was a more perfect casting for Jimmy. I would have cast him for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like when I think Jimmy Olsen, like he's who I have in mind.
Yeah.
There's Jimmy Olsen.
So Jimmy had that ridge. Jimmy had that swag, juice. Like I loved how they subtly just showed him look at his phone and be like, oh, damn, I got to text her to get this source. And everybody's like, who the hell is he talking to?
Oh yeah, wasn't her name like Three Toes or something?
Yeah, like it was like I mean, everybody had that position before, right? Like it's that person that hits you up all the time. You're like, damn, bro. Like I don't want to go there, but you know what I mean. He's as a journalist, I'm sure that's something they do. You know what I mean. You got to get some news, get some source.
Yeah,
but I thought he was perfect. Yeah, he was perfect. The comedic part was perfect, and just that whole Daily Planet organization, I thought they hit spot on.
Yeah, like we can talk about all of them because I liked him. I liked Perry White.
Yep.
Cat Grant was good.
Yeah.
Is that a real character? That cat girl?
Yes.
Yep.
Cat Grant is a real character. I loved Beck Bennett as Steve. That was so good.
That was such a good Steve casting.
Like it was perfect.
But I'd agree too, 100%. Like watching it, I was like, they really just the entire Daily Planet staff nail on the head. They are all so good at their specific roles. And then Skylar is Jimmy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And the route they went with him too, I was obsessed. But I love Skylar. I've watched him a lot. He was on Psych when I was a kid, and he was so good in that. And then he's only been in a few things since then that have been pretty big, and he's still really good. So that casting I was excited about, and just he's such a Jimmy looking kind of character, but also he works, in my opinion, from the female gaze of things of like, that's the kind of guy that's going to be the one that the girls are like, oh my gosh, Jimmy. Even though you're like, really? Jimmy?
Yeah. No, for real. Because they showed him, I think the first hint of it was he was just in the office, like hanging out, talking. And then like two women
the interns.
Like gazing at him. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, Jimmy. Like,
and that's sometimes Jimmy has issues getting women, or rather, it's more that Jimmy has issues getting the women he's interested in, because there are always women interested in him.
Yeah.
But he's never interested in them.
Gotcha.
Like there are situations where there will be, a nice, pretty young woman in the office, and he's like,
Yeah.
she's not adventurous enough for me. She's not hot enough. Like Jimmy will do that thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No,
And so yeah, like this was also on brand for Jimmy to just be like, all right.
like I'll say like in my theater where I watched it at, he had the most like the audience like laughed out loud moments. You know what I mean? Like the delayed responses to the girl, like he's like, yeah, we can hang out,
Oh
sure.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
All
He was done. He was
weekend?
done with her. Yeah,
All
that was good right there.
Yeah.
All weekend.
Yeah.
okay.
All
Yeah.
weekend. All weekend?
I
was
felt
so
bad
good.
for him, bro, because my anxiety set in like, oh damn, all weekend? Like
'Cause that girl was already annoying. I was like, yeah, she is probably super annoying to be with.
bro, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. But yeah,
Now, is she a real character?
Eve is a real character.
yeah.
Eve Tessmacher has taken several different types of roles within the DC mythos. So she's done a lot of things, but yes, Eve is a real character. Who I wanted to see was Mercy.
Mhm.
I don't like that we didn't see Mercy. That's
Mm.
okay. Like
Yeah.
if I have a note about the movie, I wanted to see Mercy. But whatever, it's fine. And I wanted to see Mercy, and I wanted old girl from Mr. and Mrs. Smith to play Mercy.
Angelina.
No,
Oh,
The newest one, the
oh.
Asian girl.
yes,
Yeah,
um,
gotcha.
I know.
yeah, the TV show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
She'd be great.
Erskine. I think her last name is Erskine.
Yeah.
Yeah, her. I wanted her to be Mercy. Anyway, Nathan Fillion.
Guy
That
Gardner.
guy.
I mean, you couldn't have cast a better guy.
I love Nathan Fillion. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he was great. Like
He's great.
just just like not like just an asshole, just like pushing this Justice Gang agenda, which is a terrible name.
Every
Like-
time I was like, please stop.
Yeah, like as a person who like loves the Justice League, like that's my favorite superhero group ever.
Mhm.
Every time he said it, I was like, bro, if you keep saying this, bro, like it's the dumbest name possible, but it's something he would try to push.
That is a very Guy Gardner thing to do.
Yeah, and so, but I thought he was great, and like the fact that he walked up to Superman and like face to face, like that's something Guy would do. He would
That's
think I
very
can
Guy.
take Superman,
Mhm.
which he would get dog walked, but
He would.
like that's just something he would do. No, he was great.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was pretty good. I did want to see more ring action, but I think I like Green Lantern the most people out of like in the DC universe. I like Green Lantern a lot. I did
Mhm.
want to see more
I'm
of
glad we
them.
didn't. Like,
Really?
I think we got enough for this movie.
Gotcha. I don't really know Gar. I don't really know Guy like that. Like I only really know Hal and John. So yeah, this version of Guy Gardner, he was good to me. I did like when he was like knocking people up, like he had the middle fingers out.
Yeah, that's
That was
definitely Guy.
that was
Very
pretty
Guy.
good.
Yeah,
Mr. Terrific.
My wife said, "Is that Frozone?" I was like, "No." I
Jesus
said,
Christ.
"No." I said, "But he does look like Frozone." That dude did a good job.
He stole the show,
He did a really good job as that character. Didn't know who that character was either, but yeah, he killed it as that guy.
Yeah, he stole the show to me. Like the fact, and I think he was the perfect person to choose because Mr. Terrific would definitely not just let Superman sit out in the pocket dimension. You know what I mean?
I am really glad that Mr. Terrific got some minutes.
Yeah,
I'm very happy with the casting.
yeah, he was great.
I am happy with the portrayal. Like,
Yeah,
I think that it was very well done. Down to the motherfucker move. I'm Mr. Terrific. I don't need
yeah,
you.
exactly.
Like that.
Low key, he gave Mr. Terrific some personality. Mr. Terrific usually is very stiff and doesn't have that much personality. Usually,
That is true.
That
And
dude,
that's
that dude had
why-
a swag. He had a swag.
yeah,
to
he
him.
had a swag about. He put that jacket on. He was like, "All right, let's go."
That was a dope jacket, by the way. I looked
Yeah.
at some of the character images like that Mr. Terrific, and they did a
Yes.
really good job.
Bro,
Good
that
job
was
about like bringing that
spot on.
costume to life. That's a dope costume.
Yeah,
that is why I was so happy with it, because yes, he's usually pretty bland.
yeah,
I like that they allowed him to have that swagger
Yeah.
because, yes, I'm going to go here. In media, we often see that intelligent black men have to humble themselves because, they can't be doing too much.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
They let my man ball out.
He really did. He
They
was,
let him. They let him be They let him be the smartest man in the room and have a swagger about him.
yeah.
Have a confidence about him that we don't usually see.
What did he say about the spear? When Lois was like, the circles or whatever?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was like,
she's like
what
circles are
was,
2 dimensional. This is 3 dimensional
Yeah.
spirit, something
Like
like
he
that.
got offended.
Spheres,
yeah, he was
not
like,
circles.
you just call
Yeah.
these two circles? They're spheres.
Yeah. Like that was great. I love the scene with the they were going to get the ship and the thing was taking too long. Because I thought in my head, I was like, yo, this is taking
Yeah.
slow as hell.
Garage.
And again, that was very James Gunn.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And so,
Like,
yeah, like that,
She's like,
very James Gunn.
you got a flying saucer, but you couldn't get a new garage.
yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
I got to get this done first, and then the
Yeah, he's
garage
like,
go.
and yeah, he was like, there's always a project.
Yeah.
A lot of things
100%.
going on.
Yeah, I loved him and Lois's interactions.
Yeah, I'm glad that he got as many minutes as he did.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know about y'all, but I didn't really have feelings about the engineer. She just kind of existed.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, I had more questions about that character in general, because she kind of seemed like she could do anything.
He kind of can. What I
Yeah.
wanted, Jordan, to your point, because her power was creating weapons, I wanted to see her and Guy have a one-on-one.
Oh,
That'd
that
been
would have
dope.
been amazing.
Like
That'd
that
been
is
dope.
one thing I want. I was like, we could have put some CGI budget on that
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
because I knew that Superman was going to fight Black Noir, but I was hoping that Guy would deal with her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would have been so. Dude, she legit like went in there and just ripped Superman's freaking robots apart, and then oh, she did to the dog, bro.
Yeah,
That was
I
tough.
thought that was like a John Wick moment. I said, oh, Superman got to get
that's what
them.
I said. I was like, oh, we're doing John Wick now. Okay,
I
Yeah.
said, yeah,
that's
Superman got
fine.
to get them.
Gotta get it. Put his hands on it.
I feel like Eve Tessmacher was cast well. I feel like she did a great job.
I thought she did a very good job too. For who Eve is as a character, she did amazing. Because one thing about Eve is she's got that bubbly, airheaded kind of vibe to her, but she's always going to somehow beat Lex out at some capacity, and
Yeah.
will always like she did a good job, this actress, of putting that up for the audience of like this what is this woman doing? Like da 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 and then
Right.
oh, she's gonna help us take down Lex for real. Like she
Yeah.
knows what she's doing.
And I
Most-
love that Lois is the one who could see it because Jimmy was like these fucking selfies,
Yeah.
and Lois
Yeah.
was like, no,
she
she
knows what
actually,
she's doing.
she's actually a
Yeah.
genius. Like she gave us everything we needed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Metamorpho.
Oh,
Is
loved
that
him, bro.
is that the dude who got like who can like do whatever with his body?
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved him, bro. I thought the portrayal was perfect. Like it was different, but also it was a James Gunn type of decision that you would expect. A weird looking person who is just a good guy who he just makes you
He has a good
likable.
heart.
Yeah, makes you like him from the jump.
And that speaks to this actor because I love him in all the stuff I've seen him in.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as DC goes, most people know him as Zaz in Gotham.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And that Zaz is not likable. Zaz is terrifying.
Right. Right.
Scary.
So the fact that he was just looking like himself and was terrifying in Gotham, and then he was looking monstrous and was lovable in this,
Yeah.
this spoke to the actor. Because also, if you ever watch Barry, he's in Barry. He's so good in Barry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I love this guy, and I think he did a great job. I think that character-wise, this is not what we usually see from Metamorpho.
Yep.
Metamorpho is, and I don't know what Lex called him in this movie.
Elemental Man.
Yeah,
right?
it was not Metamorpho, and I was
It
like,
was not. I got confused for a sec because I was like, okay, is that not Metamorph? Is this a new character? Because it's literally he looks like the comic books. So I was like, am I tripping?
yeah, whatever Lex called, I was like, that's Metamorpho, but okay.
Yeah.
And I assumed, okay, he's going to get the name Metamorpho later.
Yeah.
Like somebody is going to call him that, and he's going to be like, I like that. Like it's going to be one of those.
Mm.
Now, I will
So-
say it did make sense why he couldn't carry his kid, but he can carry Superman.
Yeah.
Mm.
When did he carry? I didn't think he carried Superman. I thought
Didn't he
Superman was out on his own.
Well, when they were escaping, was he carrying Superman, or was
I thought
he
he was like,
saying, "I can't get you"? Like he was trying to do something else and he couldn't.
'Cause I
I
thought
thought he was trying to.
Crypto was involved too. But
I thought he was like pulling them. Like didn't he was like pulling them out that stream a little bit?
I thought he was
I-
just down there, and Crypto was the one who had to pull him out.
I kind of remember what you're saying, Jordan, because I think he did use some of his tentacles to like
Yeah, he
grab
he
Superman,
did.
You're right.
and then Superman flipped it around and used his breath to
Yes.
send
You're
it the
right.
other way. But
That's
I gave it some grace because it is a child, where Superman is like
he's Superman.
He's Superman.
Yeah, like I figured. Like now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably a situation where like, the baby was too sensitive for him to actually touch while he's in some form, but Superman is not.
Exactly.
So
the baby, we could have let that bake in the oven a little longer.
We talking about the movie because this is one of the parts where I leaned over to her. I was like, "What the?" So when they showed, wasn't it Metamorpho?
Yeah,
when they showed Metamorpho at the crib watching Superman on TV. He had his girl next to him, which I assume was like his wife. And I was like,
I already knew this dude.
I said, "Is that the mama?" I was like, "Wait a minute, what is going on here? I need to know how this happened."
That could happen. The kids still be green, the dominant genes. Like,
yeah, but how you ended up with this rock man?
and it could have been a situation where they were together before he was Metamorpho. It could be a situation where because metahumans have been around, we've adapted. Because like
or
in
she could
real
just
life,
be a good person who doesn't
like
look at the.
Yeah, I'm
physical.
like this. This seems a little problematic because we don't know.
We'll just call you old school.
Yeah,
yeah. I like my traditional human on human interactions.
I think you do. I think we'll just call you old school.
Yeah. I leaned on to wife. I was like, wait a minute, how'd that work out? But I was all right.
This dude, you always trying to get in somebody's bedroom, bro.
I thought Hot Girl was pretty good.
Oh, that sound was annoying. Oh, when she was screaming, that was very annoying. Yes.
And that's not something I've seen from Hawk Girl usually. Like she doesn't usually make actual hawk noises from what I've seen.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I was a little disappointed. Like,
yeah, that's Dora the Explorer, by the way, too. If y'all didn't know.
Yeah. I just have so much respect for the character, and like she was literally like you could almost argue Justice League Unlimited is built. She's the foundation of that.
I agree
show.
with Brandon.
You know what I mean? So I have so much respect for her, and for her to kind of be, and I don't want to get into like the physical or she's because the girl is very small. Like she's a small girl, but Shira is like nothing to play with. Like she's like fierce as they get. Like low key could handle most things by herself, and so I was a little. I don't know. It didn't feel like a woman who had like gone through a bunch of stuff in her own personal past and Thanagarians and all this stuff. It just felt like a woman put on a hawk helmet and a suit and it was just like, yeah, I'm Hawk Girl. And it was just like,
yeah, I agree a bit on that front. So I was familiar with Hawk Girl before this, but the way she was presented to me, again, only Smallville knowledge here, but like she wasn't alive in Smallville, but when Clark was learning about the Justice Society of America, like she was this character that was brought up of like we were built upon this, like da da da. She has since died, da da da. But she was this larger than life character kind of thing of this big pedestal kind of. And then I like this actress that's in this movie, but I guess because I was given this again larger than life kind of expectation of who Hawk Girl was, I was like, okay. I don't know if it was presented as almost. I would have liked her to be a bit more regal feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Same.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want her joking around. Like I didn't. I
That
didn't
said,
want her jokey jokes.
You know,
I was obsessed with her when she delivered the line of like, "I'm not Superman." I was like, "No, you're not, girl."
Oh yeah, she
Do
just dropped them. That was
it.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
I was like,
that
I
was a
love
callback.
that.
Yep. 100%.
Callback to Justice League.
Yeah.
Because in Justice League, there's an episode where she and Jon Stewart are interrogating a guy, and she drops him,
Yeah. 100%.
and then she picks him back up, and John is like, "Oh, I'm glad he took your bluff," and she was like, "Who was bluffing?"
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
No,
Thanagarians do not
Shia
care.
don't play around.
Yeah.
I loved that for both that character and for the Superman part of this whole movie. But yeah, when she did that, I was like, yes, that's exactly because I had a friend that was like, I can't believe she killed him. And I was like, I can, and
Yeah.
she should have.
I'll
Absolutely.
say my
Yeah,
only
very
exposure
on brand.
to Hawk
Yeah.
Girl is through, like Brandon said, Justice League Unlimited. And so yeah, I feel like you said like I want that Regal character. Like I
Yeah.
nah, that's what I want. And I like I said, I hated that sound. It reminded me of the goats from Thor.
Damn.
I don't think her like if they were gonna do that Screech situation, I don't know. I feel like it could have been done a better, different.
I think they should just let her like yell
Yeah. Because I feel like in the
versus
show,
just
she yells. She's just screaming out of like rage. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Letting it out. Whereas like I don't know, she's not like literally a hawk. You know what I mean? Like she's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
I mean,
Where
she's a
does her
human.
wings go?
they're it depends on the version of her, but they are organic wings usually. Like they're actually feathered and attached to her back, like similar to
Absolutely.
Angel from X-Men.
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah.
explain that on here? Like, cause like you saw her without her wings. I was like, because I thought they were organic, just like that. So I was like, I
That's a good
figured I
point.
would see them all the time, but
Usually they are. That's the thing. I don't know. I
I
don't
will
know if this one is from Thanagar. Like we don't have a history on this
gotcha.
version of her.
That's true. That's true. This could be a different. I will say for James Gunn, my only concern is stuff like this, where because the beautiful thing about the DC universe that Snyder kind of overdid was the godlike comparisons, right? And this movie was like, nah, like we trying to get as close to the street level as possible, at least close to being a human, which I get it for Superman. But I don't want him dumbing down big time characters just to make them a little more relatable. Like I don't need you clipping the wings of a woman from Thanagar. You know what I mean? Like certain little stuff like that, I just don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Because like again in Smallville, she's like a god, like she is a godlike character and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I'm like, because she should be. So yeah, this was like you said, maybe this was a little too relatable of a thing. Maybe
yeah. Like I don't want Wonder Woman to
they don't
be
all. Yeah,
doing stand up.
no.
You know what I mean? Like I want, you know what I'm saying? I want
You
our
want to be
godlike
Some
beings
of
serious.
to
them
be
I don't need to
godlike.
be within arm's reach of.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that the girl who played the engineer would have done a better job as Hawk Girl.
I could see that. Yeah.
Visually, yeah, I could see that too.
I think that may have worked a little better, or that may have made a little more sense. Um, the casting choices, or the main casting choice that I absolutely did not like was Ma Kent.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
really? What?
Didn't
feel
like
the
her
same.
one bit. Like I was
That's
not happy with her.
controversial. I would have said Pa, but Ma.
I liked her, but the characterization of Martha
Yeah.
otherwise is unlike what they did in this movie.
It was
Like almost too much.
yeah, it was very a guy from I don't know if he's where James Gunn's from, but he's not from the Midwest.
Yeah,
It was very I don't know anybody really from the Midwest, so I'm gonna make him be as dumb country bumpkin as possible.
correct.
Oh,
Like
I can't believe you guys feel this way. That's
people from
crazy.
Kansas do not sound
Do
like
not sound
they were from Mississippi.
yeah.
Like they were not
That's
from Kansas.
Alabama. Yeah,
Like
That's Alabama.
I didn't like it at all.
it I like it. Some of it was like, okay, this is nice. Because it felt like when he came back home, it was home. Because I mean, Man of Steel, that was two gorgeous looking parents. Like, come on, they ain't living in the middle of
Diane
nowhere in
Lane as
Kansas.
your mom,
With
like
Diane
Yeah,
Lane.
come on,
I fucked
Kevin
with Diane
Costner
Lane
and was
because
like, no,
those are the people. Like it makes sense that he would, go home to them and get life advice and all that. Like that tracked for me, but that didn't feel like what I got Like I'm not going to that Martha Kent for life advice.
Yeah, she was made to be more of a comedic relief.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I don't disagree with the let's see if we try new things with this characters, but the Martha Kents that we've had have been, yeah, it was just too silly.
Yeah.
This is easily the worst Ma and Pa Kent I've
See
seen.
Yo,
that's funny
that's
because
crazy.
because I like don't know the characters. Like I feel like the complete opposite of you guys. Like
I
I thought they were pretty good.
I can
If I had to
understand
choose
that.
Ma or Pa, I would have picked Ma.
I can understand that because we really don't sit with mom and pop very long ever usually.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see. I didn't even really. I remember watching the movie and being like, that's a little strong. Okay, little too much chip on the dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, that's a miss.
Yeah, but I didn't think miss at the time. But now that you say it, there is actors they could have gotten who have maybe a Southern Midwest accent, who are just elite actors, and they could have just did that role. You didn't necessarily need. And this lady may be a great actor. She just kind of got bad writing, but that was definitely like, hey man, you should have talked to somebody on the cast, the crew, and be like, hey, does this sound like a lady from Kansas? And they all would have been like, no.
And unless this is what we sound like to other people.
It's not.
Bro, no.
It's absolutely not.
Because Kansas is right above us. Yeah, so I'm like,
hear me?
Can you imagine this is what we sound like to somebody from New York? Like,
Maybe.
that's how it hit us. That's how
Like,
it hit
I
us.
will say to people on the East Coast, we talk slow,
Right.
but no, like
No, that was a Southern drawl.
Come on,
Yeah, like,
Spencer.
there's
you
way
guys
too
don't
much
want to
drawl.
talk about it.
That was funny. Like I liked that she didn't know
She got
necessarily how to.
laughs, 100%. Like
Yeah.
she made me laugh, but
Right.
that wasn't Martha.
I
No,
didn't like it.
no.
I
yeah,
thought he was more Jonathan than she was Martha.
100%.
I agree. That's
But-
why my main problem is with her.
Yeah,
Because
it's like I didn't hate the direction of a calmer, kind of like chill Jonathan, and like
Mhm.
because he also was written differently than I feel like we've seen some other
Yep.
Jonathan Kents, and I think he did a great job with that discussion with Clark on the porch. Like that felt very moving. But yeah, it wasn't. The parents were made a lot more simplistic for sure for this.
they were simple as fuck.
Which I think for the end worked really beautifully, but it was not what they could have been, should have been.
I'm a little concerned in Superman 2. Like if he has to go to his parents for a literal like, hey, I need some help. I don't know. I don't
trust
know.
it.
Yeah.
I don't trust it one bit. But that's just me. That was the one bad casting choice, because even with Bradley Cooper being his dad and
that was random, unnecessary.
I didn't like that.
Immediately, I was like, "What's this guy doing?"
Yeah, I didn't like.
And I like Bradley Cooper. I do
too, but I didn't like
he
him.
felt too big for that role too.
Same.
And in a way, not too big. I say that. Let me hold on, rewind, because Marlon Brando was obviously huge. But
he felt too young.
Yeah.
Well, he just had a new baby.
Yeah, but I don't know. He didn't give Kryptonian to me.
Yeah, he honestly looked like Bradley Cooper. Like he still can be about that action as a Kryptonian.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean?
Like he.
And that's it. Sounds like that's kind of what they were going for. Is because if, and we can talk about it, but assuming that message wasn't doctored,
bro.
Yeah, he was about that action.
Nah, this was a miss. That was a miss.
I think it was a weird.
Yeah.
Again, not anti Bradley Cooper. It was just an interesting.
Yeah.
He looks too soft to be Jor-El to me. No, like for real. Like again, watching Man of Steel today, I was like, Russell Crowe, excellent choice in my opinion. I was like, that was a killer one. Marlon Brando, excellent choice. And Terrence Stamp was in Smallville. Like again, these rougher around the edges looking guys. Bradley Cooper, he's not that.
I agree with that. I couldn't think of the words, but that's exactly what it is. I think he looks too Hollywood. Like
Yes, I'm like, that's a guy that makes movies.
Exactly. Yeah. Like he should look like, oh shit, like
Like it
that's
wasn't
that.
Jor-El, that was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like
And
it
I
took
mean,
you out of the movie.
Since it's James Gunn, he was like, I mean, I can call Bradley Cooper anytime.
Also, I guess since I don't know what the contracts work is like in Hollywood, but maybe since there's no more Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm sure Rocket is going to be in future movies. Like, I wonder how did they pull that off
I
because
think that
Oh, I mean, he
like
was just
I
Groot.
think they
Yeah,
just
and it's
can.
over.
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah.
saying, but you don't think there's a contract in like Disney or DC, like, hey, you can't go
No,
over to.
there are people who
Nah.
do both. There are a
I was
bunch
Yeah.
of
gonna say
people who've
there's a
done
couple of
both.
people that did both in this movie, even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
there's a bunch of actors that jump around.
yeah, because fucking Rick Flag was in Captain America.
He was.
True, but he
Uh,
didn't have a big part.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters.
I don't. Yeah, like I think
But,
what
okay,
you're.
I mean, I just thought like I figured like maybe they had something in the contract, like, hey, you can't go for Warner Brothers for X amount of years or something.
Nah, because I mean, James Gunn's brother is Lord. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and James Gonna put his brother in anything. Like
oh,
Yeah, I
The
did.
joke
I
was
did
like,
know. I
when
did
is he
know
gonna
that.
pop up? Like I was like, he's
yeah.
here somewhere.
I will say, when we're talking about Superman's dad, I had two problems with the movie. First one, we'll talk about. Second one was the choice to totally change Superman's story as far as his parents basically telling him to take over this world. Very Incredibles type situation. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I mean, not Incredibles, Invincibles type situation where it's
yeah,
like your
and that
dad is sending you here to take over the world. Like I was just like, all right,
So is that not real? Is that not a real
no,
thing?
that's never been the
never been
case.
the story.
What
Has
about in Red Sun? That storyline, Red Sun.
No, in
yeah,
Red Sun, it was like in Red Sun, what his parents told him wasn't different. He just landed in Russia
Oh,
instead
okay.
of
exactly,
Kansas.
Okay. So
exactly.
his parents never was like, hey, get the world
No,
ready for us to come
no.
back. Okay.
The
They
only
wanted to send him to a place to where he could use his abilities to be a hero and still be safe, obviously, because Krypton was dying. But yeah, that pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. That was like, all right, we're reaching a little too much for a plot point. We don't have to change his. We don't have to make his parents look like bad guys to do that. You know what I mean?
so we'll let's talk about it because the movie kind of opens with that. So, do we think that that was genuine? Like, do we think that Lex actually deciphered the real video, or do we think it was an AI deepfake that Lex built?
I mean, according to linguistics people who
See, and
looked at it for 5 minutes.
Speaking Kryptonian in their lives.
that
That's
was my
true.
thought. Was like
Yeah.
Kryptonian is an alien language that nobody has been able to study because Krypton is gone.
I
How
Mhm.
are linguists gonna know? Like, what do we do? Like 30 top linguists. Yeah, that's some shit that you say when you're trying to get a narrative, but like nobody knows Kryptonian because it's all dead other than Superman. However, because old girl siphoned all of the information, she would know.
Right.
I think it was quote unquote real, but mistranslated at some capacity in the sense of you watch a show like Squid Game, all right? And they have the English translation at the bottom. They pick one word just a little bit different just because it translates exactly one way doesn't mean that's what they're saying in
Yeah.
context specifically. So I say that it could be real and that they just didn't choose the right word at one point. They chose the words that were going to make the most sense for the message they wanted out.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that Lex just paid to have it say what he needed it to say.
Mm.
I am under the belief I believe James Gunn changed the story because to me there's no reason to, if you wanted to leave it up in the air, you don't go linguistic experts have looked over it. And he said it like a couple times.
Well, and
Like,
okay, I'll say that. Lex is obviously going to say that. I think the point where there was question is when Mr. Terrific confirmed.
right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like to double confirm it, I think if you leave it in the air, okay, cool. We can all think what we want. But to double confirm was like, and then to have Superman go through this whole emotional arc to where he basically deletes his parents from his memory. Like from thinking about them anymore.
Yeah, he just
Like,
stops playing the video.
Yeah, exactly. To me, that you did a lot there. To retract back was kind of crazy.
And you can future proof it as well, because if Superman starts to go evil in the next second, third movie, you can reference back to this point, like, oh yeah, we knew this was going to happen to Superman.
Well, and what I'm thinking is, because they used Bradley Cooper, and because we often see Jor-El as a helpful AI that Superman talks to and interacts with regularly, I would not be surprised if Superman has a conversation with Bradley Cooper about this.
I can see it. I feel
Well,
like,
I hope it's not Bradley Cooper.
It's
We're
I
stuck
mean,
with him.
that's
That's Jor-El now.
I will say in Adventures of Superman, I want to say this storyline is kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember sort of something like this where they kind of changed the story, and Superman was talking to his dad, the AI version, and he was like pissed at him about something, and then Kryptonians start popping up trying to take over. I don't remember.
That was
Like,
I watched that.
yeah, it was in Adventures of Superman. So like,
Oh, that was also in the show, in the live action show that I watched. What's that show you haven't
Superman and
watched, Spencer?
Lois.
Yeah. That happened there too. Were they were trying to bring back the Kryptonians?
Well, yeah, Zod is always trying to do that.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Zod. Oh, that's what it was.
Like that's
Never mind.
Yeah, it might
that's
have been
Zod's
Zod.
whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, Supergirl, there was Kryptonians trying to do it too. You know,
Like that's what Zod does. But
Oh wait, we didn't talk about Superdog.
Crypto,
Crypto, yeah.
Crypto. Dude, he was
Okay.
good. He was
Jordan,
good.
I am surprised you like Crypto.
Dude, Crypto was good. Like that is definitely a puppy. That the fact that he's like, yo. Also, it was kind of funny. The robots was like, I mean, we don't give a damn about Crypto. All we supposed to do is keep him alive. We don't care what he do.
yeah,
It's
basically,
like,
yeah, like we do not give a like you don't need to thank us because we don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
He like was like biting on
That's
Superman's
funny.
leg and everything. Now I ain't gonna lie. At the end, when he was like, going in on Lex, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was gonna lift up that leg and pee on Lex a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, that would have been the ultimate slap in the face.
Yeah. Honestly, go ahead. I just thought Jordan wouldn't like Crypto.
No,
Like,
Crypto's good.
glad you
Only
like
only exposure I got to him is Super Pets, that movie that came out a couple
garbage.
years ago.
I just reviewed that movie, so you can listen to my review. Yes, plug. Anyway, so going through the movie, we open in the ice and we see some like a little bit of just vague backstory. I guess
Perfect.
3,000.
Perfect.
3,000 years ago, they discovered metahumans for the first time, I think.
I think it's
Yeah.
300
Was 300? Okay. 300
something.
years, they discovered the first metahumans. 30 years ago, Superman landed.
3 years ago, he comes out. And
Yeah.
that was a perfect origin story.
I love
Yeah.
it too.
I don't. You don't need to go through none of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next Batman movie, same thing. Give it to me. I don't need to know the backstory of characters.
No, and
we've been
that's
with
what they
forever.
that's what they've started doing. It seems like for characters whose origin story you've seen more than 3 times, they said, you know what? They're just gonna already be cooking. They're gonna
Yeah.
already be in the game. Because for the Batman, we saw that. We didn't see his
Oh, I
parents.
forgot. Okay, that's the name. Watch that one.
In Spider-Man Homecoming, we didn't see him get bit by the spider. He's already Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they decided if we've seen it before, we don't need to see it again. We're good. And so I was hoping that this movie would open with him already being Superman. We don't need to see him land. We don't need to see Krypton at all.
Yeah.
I don't even need a flashback.
I don't need to see them die anymore. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am good. And they might do it in Supergirl. In Supergirl, we might see Krypton.
That's a whole
explode.
different thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Because
That's when you
she
should
was
do it.
there for that. Like she
Exactly.
remembers it. So for Supergirl, we're probably going to see Krypton explode, and
Nah.
that's fine.
The Fortress of Solitude, dope. They did. They made that look so good.
Yeah.
I agree. It was excellent, and yeah, like whenever Crypto was definitely a young dog, or Crypto. Whenever we
It's just
find
unruly.
whenever we find out that Crypto is actually Supergirl's dog, and we see her walk in, it's like
Yeah, exactly. He's like, that's where it's coming from. All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Jesus, slamming it.
I have a question canonically about that. So in comics, Crypto, does he belong to her, or is he just either of them?
That's.
It's up
I'll
in the
say
air.
this. I only know
Okay.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Crypto was with her
Yeah, wasn't one of them sent to Earth to like with her with
to
either
watch
one of
over.
them to watch
Yeah,
over?
Kal-El. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so because Superman is sent as a baby and grows up on Earth. Whenever Supergirl goes, she's a teenager,
Yeah.
but she, gets knocked off course and is basically in
Right.
stasis
Mhm.
when that's why she arrives younger than Superman, but on Krypton she was older than Superman.
Right. Now I've been in Smallville had a Crypto-esque character, like they called him Crypto in one episode and then referred to him as another name after that. But like
Oh wow.
he was Crypto because he was a dog they found affected by kryptonite, not a
Got it.
Got a
so
super dog.
and he wasn't related to when they brought Supergirl in either, so I wasn't sure if it was like her dog, canonically
Yeah.
speaking.
I feel like on screen Crypto is always Superman's dog.
Okay.
And I think that him being Supergirl's dog is relatively recent.
I think that's true. I think
I
that's
like
right.
it for the vibe that Crypto is as a dog and for who Kara is as a person.
Yeah.
So we are given a brief explanation of, just the Earth that we're on. And Superman, it says that Superman has been beaten for the first time by the Hammer of Bravia. And, we don't know who that is, but obviously he's a problem. And so he's like, hey, Crypto, I need you to come get me. And Crypto is just doing the most.
Dude
Yeah.
landed right on top of him.
Bro.
That's
That
his dog
was-
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to
exactly.
say very, very much like young dog behavior. Like that
Right.
Crypto is, and again, because it's a James Gunn movie, that's what I expect.
100%. 100%.
So Crypto's able to take him to the Fortress of Solitude. We see the robots. I'm glad we saw the robots. I don't know, have we seen the robots in live action before? I don't think we have.
Not a group. You got me correct me, but I feel like what was it? Man of Steel when they're like some floating thing,
The
but it
robots
wasn't.
in the ship thing, like
Yeah.
there's those, but they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't like.
I was listening to another podcast too a couple days ago, and these guys are like old school comic book people, and they were saying how the super robot was only one robot, and it had a specific name too.
Yeah.
I don't remember what
Yeah.
they said.
There are a lot of different iterations. In All-Star Superman, he had robots.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why they went in that direction. But I know him as having multiple robots.
Mm.
Even
Gotcha.
in Superman versus the Elite, he's got robots. So yeah, as far as I know, there are a lot of them. But yeah,
Mm.
I guess the primary one is named Calyx.
That
Okay.
sounds familiar.
that does sound familiar.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the primary robot associated with Superman.
Number
Yeah.
4, probably.
And I'm glad that the parents were speaking actual Kryptonian instead of just
I
English.
loved that.
Yeah.
And I say actual Kryptonian, whatever.
Yeah,
But
we get
Speaking
it.
not English
Yes.
correctly.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they were not speaking English. But he listens to the message. We find out that the message is damaged, and then he heals. And the robot is like, "You're only like 83%, and you lost at 100. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, no, I got shit to do. I got to get back in there." And that was very Superman.
Mhm.
100%.
So he goes back into the fight, and the Hammer Bravey is just, talking shit and doing the most. And then he goes back into the fight and loses. And we see that Lex is the one cooking his ass.
Yeah.
We see that Lex is calling out commands, and the fact that Lex has memorized all of these movements and all like that speaks to Lex and his
Mhm.
obsession. The
Yeah.
fact that he, basically Tony Starked this thing.
Yeah. He gave him a strong German suplex. It was tough. Like he was
Yeah.
beating the brakes off of
He was
it.
beating his ass. It
Yeah.
was not good.
No. Like but I do like that like Superman was like checking on people. Cause like he's checking on, you know what I mean? Like when the hammer dude like blasted into the building, he's like, "Yo, y'all are everybody good? Is everybody all right?" You know what I mean? Because in Man of Steel, that dude chopped down like 20 buildings, didn't check on one person.
No, like that was so refreshing about this one. I had a friend of mine after he watched this. He was like, "No one talks about the all these people that died in these buildings that Superman." And I was like, "This Superman saved everybody in those buildings,
Absolutely,
100%. Those buildings
yeah,
were empty."
right,
This Superman, yes, I agree. And we'll talk about it a little later. Like, there's a moment where I'm like, yes, that is Superman, and
Mhm.
that's
yeah,
what we needed. So, Superman gets helped. Like, there's a guy who's like, oh my God, Superman's hurt, and he goes and checks on him, and Lex is like, hmm,
I want that guy.
Mhm.
okay, that's your friend. I see. Okay, oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. So, um, I thought that the engineer was Mercy whenever she first
same.
appeared in the
I do
ice.
too.
And then when she wasn't, I was like, well, shit. But yeah, it's fine. So she goes into the ice and she finds the Fortress of Solitude. And she's like, oh no, it's gone. Like, it was here a second ago, I swear. And Lex is like, don't worry about it. I got GPS. We're
Yeah,
good. So um, we see that 3 weeks ago, Superman stopped a foreign country from invading a different foreign country. Funny how that, you know,
yeah,
Them,
happened.
them countries had some names on them, boy. I was like, what's the name of this country?
yeah,
Jordania? I was like, what is this?
Yes, and that's
yeah.
the thing. Moravia and Jarhanpur are countries that I have not heard of in DC. So there are a lot of random fictional countries that I've heard of in DC, Corto Maltese and um, yeah, Santa Prisca, all that. I have not heard of these two.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they exist in DC beyond this. If they're new, I don't know. I'm not familiar
I
with
want to
either of those countries
say
at all.
this is made up because I know the Hammer of Bravia is made up. James Gunn made that up. So
Okay.
I'm assuming he made up the country too, but who knows?
And, gonna go here. Don't know if DC had an allegory country for what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Who knows?
Timing was
Like,
wild.
there was no
Yeah,
DC Palestine, so
right.
we gonna make one.
Mhm.
Um, so Moravia is a U.S. ally, and so Lex goes to who I assume like it's the U.S. government, but usually Argus is in that situation, and because Rick Flag is directly associated with Amanda Waller, I assume he was representing Argus.
Mhm.
Hey,
But
this Rick Flag wasn't he in uh
he
what's
was
the new
Creature Commando, so yeah, that's him.
Creature Commando. Okay, I was thinking
Suicide
Peacemaker.
Squad?
He probably so Peacemaker. I don't know if he was in Peacemaker, but he probably was. But in the Suicide Squad, um, Peacemaker kills his son.
Son, yeah, this is Rick Flag
Oh,
Sr.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
But
Rick
this is
Flag
the same
Jr.
one
is
from Creature Commando?
yes,
yeah,
Okay.
it's that same guy. I was like, why is his hair not white? But whatever.
yeah.
Um, he does look like him, so that's fine enough for me. But yeah, I assume he was representing Argus, because the U.S. government, like Argus, is a government entity. So um, yeah, Lex goes in there, and Lex is like, I can kill him, and you should let me kill him.
Mm.
I have all of these ways, all of these things. Like Lex just kind of goes over, and the people in the room are like, I mean, I don't think we need to kill him. Like, I don't think we're there yet. Like, we're not. He's not a bad dude as far as we've
Mm.
seen, so we shouldn't kill him. And Lex like, okay. So we see him go to the Daily Planet. This is where we meet Lois and Jimmy and Kat and all Steve, everybody. Again, everybody was cast very well.
Yep.
I liked this Perry White more than Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was excellent in my opinion. So, later that evening, Lois is at her apartment. She walks in, she hears noise, so she gets the bat out. And I'm like, yes, Lois, handle it yourself. I knew that it wasn't anything, but I was like, yeah, let's see what happens. So Lois sees Clark and they're cooking, and she's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm cooking for you because that's what boyfriends do." So we are then like, "Oh, they're already together."
Yeah.
And she already knows that he's cool.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like one of the things while they're, bantering at the Daily Planet, it's like funny how you keep getting these interviews with Superman.
Yeah. My boy is about to expose himself. Yeah.
That's another thing that happens in this movie, and I'm so glad it does. But we'll get there later. So they talk about these interviews, and Lois is like, it'd be interesting to interview. Like the fact that you are interviewing Superman, so Superman is already prepared for all of the questions, is kind of a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, whatever. And you know what, Lois, you want to interview Superman? And she's like, You mean right now?
Yeah.
I'll do it right now. And he's like, Sure. And I don't know if he was begrudging about it or anything, but
She dog walked him.
she,
Yes, she did.
that was some journalism for your ass.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
could,
really glad it happened because it also, even though we saw Superman get flustered and not quite know how to handle it, it still spoke to Superman's character
right.
because Lois is questioning the legality of everything. And Superman is like, I don't care about any of that. People were dying.
Right.
That is my job. It was a situation where it felt to me like Lois was like, Superman, you are the police. And so you are bound by the rules of your government. And Superman was like, I'm a firefighter.
Yeah. I saw people making
I
that
save
complaint.
people. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like that was an excellent comparison. But
Yeah.
when I was watching the movie, like that occurred to me.
I thought he was going to lean more into, which I guess he does primarily stick to the United States, but I thought he was going to take it to the route of I'm not just only the US's, hero. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
hero of the world, and so
Yeah.
therefore I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
The thing about that is there are stories where he is specifically beholden to the United States. Like he is somebody, he will take orders from the president. And we see a lot of situations where because he's taking orders from the president, he comes into conflict with other people.
Mm.
So in The Dark Knight Returns, Reagan is the president, and Reagan basically says to Superman, "Hey, superheroing is outlawed, and there are people doing stuff. I need you to take care of it for me." And that is what brings Superman into conflict with Batman because Batman is technically breaking the law. So Superman, often a part of his big blue Boy Scout thing is following laws. And so the fact that this Superman wasn't doing that, I think speaks to the character in Superman's heart, but goes against the character of Superman that we've seen, generally speaking.
It's weird because I look at it more like a Steve Rogers situation, right? Whereas he's obviously loyal to America. However, the rules only go so far, right? Like he's not beholden to a politician or and we've seen different iterations, like you said.
Yeah, what Brandon said, that's what I
Like
was
he's
thinking.
not beholden. So like if there's a crisis going on in China, he'll just go save people because that's just the right thing to do. And then
Yeah.
because he is naive in certain places, he'll have to deal with the blowback afterwards. But he'd rather deal with that afterwards. I do think that's why I'm not necessarily the biggest Dark Knight fan because I think that makes him as if he just listens to whatever. He's just a weapon the government uses, and we all know Reagan. You can always blame everything on Reagan, but but like I just feel like yeah, Dark Knight Rises as it should definitely highlights Batman a little more and makes Superman look trash. But I get it.
It's a Batman story,
Yeah,
so
I get it.
yeah, that's how that's going to go. But yeah, I usually in Superman versus Batman stories, Batman is given the edge by the pen in
Yeah,
most
which is
cases.
bullshit.
That's just kind of he has to because he's a human man. going against.
But funny thing is, like Clark has so much ammunition to be like, bro, you're a billionaire, bro. Like, what do you know about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of stuff he just never. And I guess that's cutting too low for Clark. I don't know, but
the fact I will say a lot of what Clark could say to Batman ends up being said to Lex.
Yeah, true. Which is crazy. I would have destroyed Batman.
I
But
mean, yeah, the only difference between Lex and Batman is
Intent.
Batman know, well,
yeah,
that too,
exactly.
I guess that. But like, I mean, yeah, Batman know karate. But
Yeah.
other than that, like they're literally the same person.
To disrespect the League of Shadows and say they practice karate is crazy. But it's crazy.
I expect things like that from Jordan, so I wasn't
Yeah,
going to
Raja
engage.
Ghul is a karate instructor.
I was not going to engage.
Well,
I
at
was
the end of
gonna
the day, I call
leave.
all those fighting style.
That is hilarious, bro.
I
Some
was going to
DC
leave that
Superman
on
is
the
like,
floor.
this thing is like, what the hell is this? Yeah.
Anyway.
But I will say that kiss they had, hey, that was intense. I was like, oh,
They were good. They were going.
they were getting after it.
I got a little uncomfortable there for a minute. I thought I was about to lead the other things. He picked her up on that counter. I was like, whoa, what are we doing here?
I think on that note though, like the chemistry between these two actors for these roles is really great. And I think they played a good regular couple
Yeah.
too. Not to rewind it too much, but like him making her a meal and she's like, you're making your favorite. Like it's something
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was like, he thinks he's listening, but he's not. Like Clark Kent's this great guy, but he's
Bro.
still just not fully
He's still a guy at the end of the
That
day.
whole, the moment she walked in to the moment he left, Clark was tripping, bro. Clark was on some, like, and she was like, how do you think this is going? He's like, I'm doing a great job. I don't know about you.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah, no,
Clark.
yeah.
he
He
was
stunk with that one.
like, yeah, but I
Yeah.
think like it was like I think they've got a very strong, like again, Lois and Clark in general, very strong relationship kind of thing going, but it's like there's still a normal couple. Like
Absolutely.
there's gonna be these dumb little things that
Yeah.
aren't worth fighting about, but we're gonna fight about
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And he was
I was like,
flustered that she whooped him in that,
yeah, I know.
in
He
that
was
debate,
not ready
basically.
to. And that was her point. Like she
Mhm.
said to him, like, you
You
are
are-
ready for all of the questions that you ask. And
Right.
so you never challenge you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then she hit him in the mouth and he
Yeah.
was not ready.
It's
And I
kind of
thought
like,
that was perfect.
it's kind of like when two guys are friends and they ask each other about their life, and we give like the very small details, like,
Yeah.
hey, everything go good today? Yeah, it was good. All right, cool. I bet. And it's like, and the woman wants to know like the exact
All
details.
the details.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that would make that scene just a little bit more perfect if like James Gill to pop up like some words and like for the second time in 3 days Superman's lost again. Dude, that would have sent me
That would've
dying,
been
bro.
good. Yeah. He definitely took it out.
And yeah, she said to him, like, I knew this was a bad idea. And I thought
Oh,
she just
yeah.
meant the interview.
That was
I thought
toxic.
she meant I knew she meant the relationship, and I was like,
yeah,
that's
that
messed
was
up.
definitely the relationship.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that's messed up, man.
Girl.
Yeah.
That was tough.
I thought she meant the interview, and I was like, oh.
My boy, feelings is hurt. Which
Yeah,
I
he
get
was
it.
hurt, bro.
Yeah.
And he should have been.
Yeah, I was really hoping he wasn't going to walk out, but it worked for what it did. But I was like, Clark, no, this is not the time to leave.
Yeah.
So we go over to Antarctica, and this was the proper representation for how cocky and arrogant Lex is. Like, there is shit flying everywhere, and he is not flinching or moving. He is just walking casually through. Like, his head almost got sliced open,
Right. Yeah.
and he just unbothered.
Right.
And I was like, that's trust.
Yeah.
But they break into the Fortress of Solitude, and they collect all of the information. They destroy the robots. Crypto gets muzzled. And they basically she's like, the thing is damaged, but I think that I can get all of it.
Mm.
And she manages to do that. And we see later that the full message was that Superman was actually sent there to conquer the Earth. Because whenever it appears on the TV, Lex is like, this is exactly what I've been talking about this whole time. So the message pops up, and he's like, the first half, yeah, what's wrong with that?
Mm.
And then, yeah, the second half goes, and the public turns immediately.
Bro,
And he had just saved him from the kaiju.
that's
Yes.
my thing. That was super fast. Like, that's crazy.
Let's talk about the kaiju. So, one of the things that Lex says is like, don't worry, I have orchestrated a distraction. So we're going to be good there. This is a kaiju that I was not familiar with. This
My wife said,
character,
"Is that Stitch?" I was like, "That does look like Stitch."
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
actually good.
this character was like it. I don't even think it had a name, but
No.
yeah, it was new to me. It was not a character that I knew the name of. So Superman is in Metropolis fighting this kaiju, and one of the moments that was important to me was there was a little girl who was about to get smacked with something,
Yeah.
and Superman saves her, and I was like, "That's Superman."
Yeah. 100%. Like,
I was really worried because they put that moment in the trailers, the first trailers and everything like that. And it's one of the sickest shots that
Yeah,
they
it
have
is.
too. And I was like, that was one moment that I was like, please don't be the best thing about this, because that is such a good shot. That when I was watching the trailer, I was like, oh, this is everything. But luckily it wasn't like the only shot in the film that was amazing. But that is that whole visual in that whole moment, like you said, Spencer, like that was the physical embodiment of Superman in that
I
moment.
mean, he saved a squirrel, so that
He
goes
did.
to
I
show you.
loved the squirrel so much.
And
That squirrel flipped out. That squirrel's like,
yeah.
the squirrel acted appropriately
Yeah.
Yep.
under the circumstances. Cassidy, that right there, that's why I don't watch trailers. Like
It-
that, moments like that are the reason I don't watch trailers.
But I will say it hit. Like the trailer,
It made
the
it
reason
hit.
the reason that this trailer hit so hard for me is because they played the music on top.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I left the theater listening to that theme, by the way, and it hits. Like my man was like, I put that on my workout playlist. Like that, it hits. But yeah, he saved the dog. You know what I mean? This whole scene to me represented Superman, because it was like he saved all the animals, and then he tried to save the alien. You know
Tried
what
to
I
save
mean?
the kaiju.
Yeah, like because I've seen in plenty of
Yeah,
shows where
trying
he
so hard.
yeah, like plenty of shows where he'll take the whatever the alien being is being used, he'll take it to an off-world, site to take care of it or whatever.
But the
Like
zoologist on some other planet.
Exactly.
I was just like, my guy.
yeah, exactly. Like that's Superman for sure.
Yeah, and
Justice Gang
because
was like,
Superman was kind of hurt when that thing died.
yeah, Justice
I
Gang
was
was
hurt
like,
because
nah.
I was just like, oh, you can tell. Like again, props to David, because I was like, oh,
Very
he's
Superman.
dead.
Yeah.
Because he knows he
Very-
could have and should have.
Yeah, they popped that dude's organs.
Yeah. And so yeah, we see the Justice Gang. This is when we see them for the first time, and we see Guy, Mr. Terrific, whose little chair thing. Like
Oh,
I loved
did
it.
he steal that from
It
the New
looked
Gods?
like the Mobius chair. Yes.
It looked like the New Gods dude. Remember the
Yeah.
New God with the helmet?
Yeah. Necron, or not Necron. Yes.
I know
the
no,
dude
like,
in the Mobius chair.
yeah. Feel like he stole that from him. But yeah, that was dope. Guy Gardner, like Jordan was talking about, like I thought he had some cool stuff, like with the mittens and like the chain on the mouth. Like he did some cool visual stuff. And I thought honestly some of the more creative like Green Lantern stuff, because sometimes bro, watching Green Lantern sometimes like it's kind of like some of the things he does is kind of lame, and then some stuff he does is like very like creative.
Yes, I agree.
And so this I felt like was like, oh, okay, like that's a smart thing to do. You know what I mean?
Metron was his name.
Yeah.
In the Mobius chair, but yes, it looked like that.
Yeah.
Because the other New God you may have been thinking of, he's on a standing thing.
Yeah, it is a standing thing, but it's like white.
It was similar to that.
Yeah.
Like his little cart thing, but it was closer to the Mobius chair just based on how he was sitting.
Sitting down, yeah.
But yeah, so people are like, "Yay, the day is saved," and Superman's getting showered with praise, and that's when Lex comes up on the TV, shows the message. He says, "Yeah, I've had all the experts review it. Um, everything checks out," and yeah, the public is like, "Yeah, we don't like Superman anymore."
Yeah.
We see Superman having a discussion with Lois while the Justice Gang is fighting. I think they called it an intergalactic imp. So
Now,
not Mr. McSpittalick, but something else, I
are you
guess.
sure?
Because he's an interdimensional imp, and that
That did not look like him, but I
it
will
did not
say.
look like him at all. And also, if it was him, they would have got dog walked. Like it would not have gone well for them if that was actually Mr. No.
I mean, they were struggling a little bit. Like, it was funny because I was trying to focus on the scene, but then I'm seeing Green Lantern in the background hit him with a bat
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
over and over. It was pretty funny.
But yeah, I don't. It could have been Mr. Mix. I don't think it was.
I heard a
But
theory that it was.
the fact they used the word imp means it could have been.
I heard a theory it was either him or Batmite, which is like a
And
imp.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's Batman's Mr. McSpittalick.
exactly. Yeah,
And yeah, like those
it just
imp
doesn't
is
seem in
used for
Metropolis. Doesn't
them.
make sense. Yeah,
But yeah, like we're gonna see what happens.
yeah. The
But
fact that Superman was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for crypto." Like, they got that. I don't really
yeah, I'm
care.
gonna let them handle that.
Yeah,
But where the fuck is my dog?
right. Yeah,
And so he pulls up on Lex, and somebody like, Mr. Luthor, I tried to stop him, but you know. Um, Also, before we continue, Cassidy, what do you know Lex's company to be named?
Luthor Corp.
So you know it as Luthor Corp.
That is what
What?
it is in Smallville. It's Luthor Corp. I've always known it as Luthor Corp because his dad's a very prominent figure in the TV show, and it's his dad's company. That's why it's Luthor Corp.
Wasn't it called LexCorp before?
Yeah.
Yes. In most
Okay,
iterations.
that's what I knew is LexCorp.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why I was asking.
I don't even know
because-
why I even know that either. I was just
Because yeah, LexCorp I think that's the more prominent known
Mhm.
name. Like Luthor Corp I think is very Smallville specific. Is it not?
I mean, I think that Luthor Corp. Luthor Corp is what they go with whenever there are more Luthors involved.
And that's why, yeah, in Smallville, like Lionel Luthor, Daddy Luthor is very prominent in the first couple of seasons, like, and then Lex takes over Luthor Corp.
Yeah, and then in the Supergirl mainly, but in the Arrowverse, Lena Luthor is the main Luthor
Yeah. That's true.
that we deal with. So I think that usually it's LexCorp, at least in recent stuff.
Mhm.
But I wondered what Smallville did, and I assumed Smallville did Luthor Corp because if this Lex is supposed to be younger than, but also I didn't know if we watch him build the corporation or if it was already a thing. So, yeah, but I always know it as LexCorp, and I will probably refer to it as LexCorp if we talk about it.
Yeah. Same.
So, Lex is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't the slightest clue. What would a dog?
Yeah.
I don't.
Nick doing a great job in this. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's Lex. He does not. He's just like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
It's just a dog. Yeah.
and he's like, Eve,
Bad.
Eve, you're recording right now, right? Yeah, capture all this.
Yep.
Because yeah, Superman got me hemmed up
Yeah.
for no reason. He's busted in here. It's not good. So Superman is like, you know what? I'm gonna turn myself in because I'm a criminal. That's what they want from me. And so he turns himself in, and the US government is like, we cannot do anything about you. So we have decided to outsource your arrest to Lex and his Raptors. I think that's what they were being called.
Yeah.
The dudes in the suits.
Yes.
And so Black Noir, puts him in handcuffs and all that shit. Because I guess he's not the Hammer, but like that whole hammer of Bravia thing. Like that's just
Yeah.
not even like we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So also just because we're here. We saw that, they borrowed from Invincible with the whole like you were actually sent here to conquer, not to cooperate. And he looked like Black Noir. We know that, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
But the
From
reason.
oh,
Question.
Go ahead.
Black Noir is not the name of this character.
No,
No.
Ultraman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black
Sorry,
Noir.
I was like,
Okay.
I don't know where this is coming from.
Sorry. Black Noir is a character from The Boys.
Okay.
So in the comic book for The Boys, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander.
which
Okay.
Homelander is another Superman clone, basically.
And Homelander is the Boys'
Okay.
version of Superman.
Yes. Okay. I'm vague. I know Homelander. Okay.
So the fact that Black Noir is a clone of Homelander in The Boys, and the fact that Ultraman is a clone of Superman in this, and looked like Black Noir, like was wearing Black Noir's, like that's what that was.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so you just straight up
So did
borrowed
you,
that.
at the start when he got into the fortress, did you clock that immediately?
I
Yes.
did not.
I did
didn't.
not.
Okay.
I didn't either.
I jokingly to my sister, I was like, what if this is like Connor Kent or something? Like just some off-brand.
So
And again,
when they
that's-
showed him, that's who I thought.
I thought
So when
so.
he got
Superboy,
unmasked, I
That's-
was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I thought that, well, I didn't think it was a clone. I
Mhm.
thought that Lex went to a different Earth and got Ultraman,
Mhm.
because Ultraman is the Earth 3 version of Superman. So Ultraman is a part of the crime syndicate.
Yeah.
And the crime syndicate is just all of the Justice League members but evil.
Mm.
From a different Earth. Like, things just turned out differently. So I knew that the whole, like, it only responds to my DNA. Like, I knew that that was a thing. So I was under the impression that it was actually Ultraman, like a comic book Ultraman. So I thought that Lex went to Earth 3, got Ultraman, brought him here, made a deal. Like, I thought it was actually Ultraman, whose DNA would be the same as Superman's because he's that Earth's Superman.
Right.
That's what I thought we were doing. When I saw that he was a clone, I was like, oh, they did a full Black Noir.
Yeah.
And again, I thought it was going to be Connor because that's usually who whenever he said, I got your DNA and
Yeah,
I
like that's
cloned
the
you.
exact
but-
storyline that it sounded like to me. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be
The
Connor.
Argus or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Cadmus.
Cadmus. Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I thought, oh, it's going to be Connor. And then he said, I made a clone of you, but it may be dumber than you. And I was like, okay, bizarro. So
Yeah.
there were a lot of different directions they were trying to take us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they just did a full, like, we're just going to take what the boys did and we're just going to
Okay.
drop it.
I should have asked
Because-
earlier every time you said Black Noir. I was like, I don't remember him being referred to as that. I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And that's just
Okay.
me in my own words.
Got it.
So, yeah. We see that he, puts Superman in the handcuffs and all that, and then he takes him to the pocket dimension. We see the pocket dimension previously. Like, we see Lex walk through it. We see the president of Bravia walk through it. So we
That was
know
a
it's a
boom
thing.
tube, right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Like, that's how boom tubes...
That's the thing. I thought boom tubes too, but they work a little different.
Yeah, boom tubes are a little different. So hard to say that it was just a boom tube, like just flat out. But essentially, a boom tube does operate like a portal that sends you somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
So, but boom tubes usually exist within the same dimension.
Yeah.
Usually.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So was it a boom tube?
Yeah. I mean, I could very well see Lex getting a hold of a boom tube and taking advantage of it. So
yeah, like and again, this version of Lex is probably easily the smartest man on earth.
Yeah.
Like this Lex he's too much.
Yeah.
Um, so we see that he puts him in a cell with Metamorpho. And again, if you know Metamorpho, you know exactly who that is, and you know exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So he turns his arm into kryptonite, which makes him weak, and Lex starts, just monologuing because Superman says to him, like, if you're telling me all this, that
You
means
don't plan. Yeah.
I'm never getting out of here. And Lex is like, yeah, you thought you were getting out?
Yeah.
Like surely you didn't think you were getting out.
Right.
So we see that Jimmy is getting information from Eve, and because Lois is like, I don't know where he is, and Jimmy's like, I mean, I could probably find out, and then he
Yeah.
does, and
You owe me.
Jimmy's like, he's in a pocket dimension. Do not ask me any more questions.
Right.
He's in a pocket dimension.
Yeah.
You owe me very big for this.
Yeah.
Because I made a sacrifice to get this info.
Bruh. Her text was so thirsty. I was just like,
So
golly.
thirsty. But Jimmy got it like that.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So yeah, she's like, Jimmy, we gonna need to be together.
Yeah.
So Lois goes to see the Justice Gang, and Guy is acting like he's the leader. I don't know. I assume it's Shira, but like her name is never spoken. So
I don't think
Girl.
I don't think it is, but I don't know. They don't give
don't
me
know.
anything to say it is, but I want to say in their interviews and their press tour, they made it sound like that isn't Shira, but I don't know.
And that's the thing with Hawk Girl. There's the version of her that is just from Thanagar. She's a warrior from Thanagar,
Right.
and she was sent to Earth to prime it for conquering.
Mm-hmm.
There are other versions of Shira. Like usually when she's by herself, she's Shira of Thanagar. When she and Hawkman are together, they are basically avatars of Egyptians from many, many years ago who always get reincarnated and end up together and then die and then come back.
Yeah.
So those are the two versions of Hawk Girl that usually happen in media. No idea what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I really didn't need her to get any more minutes. We can learn about her in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. So, Lois goes to the Justice Gang, and, Guy is Guy.
Yeah. Guy, he was a standout in this scene. He was
and
funny.
He was so good in this scene. And what I loved about this scene was he was like, so do you know the secret?
Yeah.
So you know who he is? So you know it's Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with the thing with the hypno glasses, hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Cassidy, have you heard about that?
No.
So you know how most people are like, all he does is put on glasses and nobody can tell who he is? That's so stupid.
Right.
So there was this thing going around where it's like, well, actually the glasses that he puts on hypnotize people that look at him, so it like changes his face so that he doesn't look like just Superman in glasses. The glasses hypnotize people into thinking that he has a different face, which is why nobody suspects that he's Superman.
Okay.
That was the whole explanation that they tried to come up with for it. And so the fact that they referenced that. You said what?
Is they just people saying things?
I will say, I believe there was a comic run, a very small limited series that tried to push this thing, and it got immediately fried by fans. Like fans were like, absolutely not. That is stupid. And so it got axed from canon, but I do think that is something that came out in comics. And then people start making a joke, obviously.
Okay.
It was so dumb that people started being like the hypno glasses,
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing. It's one of those things where you got to remember that Superman was made in the 30s.
Right, yeah.
And Superman is a character whose origin has changed very little since then. There are a lot of characters who have been completely rewritten.
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific is a great
Right.
example. Somebody who's completely rewritten. But there are some characters who, people loved it, and that's just what it's going to be. We will make fun of it because in today's time, it's kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It just reminds me, I think that's all down to the actor too. Like the animated ones are different though too. But I think again, David Cornswet physically embodied both characters very well. Christopher Reeve obviously killed it at the being able to physically embody it differently. And then even in Return to Superman, or not Return, Superman Returns, there's a whole scene where they're just like describing Superman, and they look over at Clark, and they're like, "How tall do you think Clark is?" Like that. But like the act, it's like the joke's long standing, but it works.
Right. Yeah, it does.
Glasses on some people, and I wouldn't be able to tell them from
No, that's true. And I've said this before. Zoe Deschanel with glasses and
100%.
bangs.
She's a big one on that.
Yeah.
But with glasses and bangs, she's a different person than without glasses and bangs.
Right.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I understand how we got here.
Yeah.
But Mr. Terrific is like, yeah, let's go. I actually already put some like nano trackers inside of Superman, so whenever he disappeared, I didn't like that. And Lois was like, "You did what?
Yeah.
Do you put nano? Yeah, I put nano trackers in all of my friends."
That was crazy.
I was like, that was a Batman thing to say.
No, it really was.
Same thing I thought.
Yeah. Every like hot girl and guy were like, "Whoa, hold on."
What?
Yeah.
But again, that's kind of the role he was playing here.
Yeah.
And I did kind of think, I keep wanting to call him Curtis. Michael should probably be his own billionaire. Maxwell Lord is nefarious.
Yes.
And I imagine we're going to see, something with that later on.
Yeah. Because he's apparently not the owner, but
he's the supporter, the
funding, the Justice Gang.
Yeah, the Justice Gang is his. And that's got implications.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see what that's about. I don't know if we all, but like we saw Wonder Woman 1984. We saw that Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
And
that godforsaken movie.
And I'm glad that they were like, don't even think about that anymore. Don't even, we have a new Maxwell Lord. Yeah. There's a completely different Maxwell Lord. Don't even, forget that happened. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So, they make their way to Superman's last known location, which is where, there are a bunch of Lex people doing stuff. And Mr. Terrific lays waste to them. Like he arrives and he don't care about everybody's like, hey, stop what you're doing. I don't give a fuck about you. Like this is the trajectory that like Mr. Terrific is just doing what he was doing. And everybody's like, stop right there. And so then he's like, all right, I'm gonna have to handle all these people. Cool.
Very Guardians of the Galaxy moment.
Yeah. He puts up a shield and we just see Lois looking around, watching him.
It was so Guardians, though. That was one of the moments that I was like, I knew I couldn't escape it fully. Like I was like, exactly what this whole scene is. I was like,
it was a very James Gunn scene. Very James Gunn.
What was our character from Guardians with the whistle?
Yondu.
Yondu. Yeah, it reminded me of Yondu.
Yondu, he was one of the robots.
Oh, damn. See?
Like at the very beginning, because I recognized him as one of the robots. Whenever Superman was like, he arrived and he was hurt and they son. He and Mantis was a robot.
See? Yeah. James Gunn loves a friend.
Yeah, he called in. Yeah, he was like, all these people that I know, all my friends are going to be at this movie. And good. Little cameos like that, perfectly fine.
He had Lex from Smallville voice one of the Raptor guards.
Oh.
And he's in Guardians I forgot what he is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I saw his interview with him. It's pretty good too.
Okay. I like Smallville Lex. He's the voice of Flash. That's how I know him. But So we're over in the pocket dimension, and Lex finds the random stranger who helped Superman for just a second.
Yep.
And Lex starts interrogating him, and he does a Russian roulette. So bullet in, spins it, click. Keeps asking him question, spins it, bow.
That was
And,
tough.
and Lex is like, oh,
That sucks. I thought we had more time.
yeah,
Yeah.
thought that'd go a little bit longer, but whatever. And then he just goes, I was like, oh, there's some Lex.
He's
It's
like,
so
maybe I
Lex.
should go get Lois.
It was
No, he
just
said he was going to go get Clark. He said,
Oh, that's right.
I will bring everybody that you have ever interacted with. I think the next guy that I get is that Clark dude who be interviewing you. Yeah, he's next.
Yeah.
Because in this world, we don't see Superman and Lois ever together.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
So, yeah, he's like, I'm going to get that little Clark dude who be interviewing you. And Metamorpho is in tears.
Bro, distraught.
Yeah. Like, this is what I need to be like, okay, Metamorpho's actually just a regular dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a very normal person who didn't ask for any of this. Like, that's why when Superman is trying to plead with him, he's like, do not talk to me.
Yeah. He pulled a rent up on him like, do not talk to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, you shut your mouth. My son is over there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's like, if you would just turn the kryptonite off,
Yeah.
I could probably go get him.
Yeah.
And this is when he's like, so you said you could go get him? Because I'm guessing, I don't know if Metamorpho was, because we know how Lex is. I don't know if Metamorpho was told, hey, if you do this, you'll be set free. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with Lex and Metamorpho. Well, actually, yeah, I do. He had his son.
Yeah.
And he said, if you do this, then you'll get your son back.
And clearly, I'll do it because I just killed this other man right in front of you.
Right.
Yeah.
I
But
think that's what had to click for Metamorpho. I was like, oh, he
yeah,
will.
like, I don't think Metamorpho knew what he was dealing with Lex.
Right.
Because he was like, Metamorpho was like, that man was innocent.
Yeah.
Like, didn't do anything and just got his head blown off.
Yeah.
So you said you could get my son, right? And so he turns the kryptonite off, and he says, this was hilarious to me when Metamorpho said to Superman, why do you still look gross?
Yes.
That was funny.
Metamorpho, I'm going to need you to do something for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up.
Like,
There are no
Superman
mirrors in
struggling.
here, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, Superman is like, well, I need a son.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, look around. There's obviously no sun in here.
Yeah.
And Metamorpho was like, I mean, I got a little something.
That was tough.
Yeah,
That was dope.
Yeah, he said, I'll just do some hydrogen and some helium.
I loved how the two people next to them was like, hell no.
Guards! You're not
I
going
would
to
have
get
did
me
the
in
same
trouble.
thing. No lie. I would have been like, whoa. I am not with this.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with me.
No, guards.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get me in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, they were ready to snitch.
I am surprised no one got blinded. Right. No one in that joint got blinded or lost sight. You look directly in the sun, it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure that there was some temporary blindness. Like I'm sure that for a moment, like everybody closed their eyes immediately when it happened. But yeah, like I'm sure that everybody had to like blink a while. Because also it was dark to go from the darkness in there to a tiny sun.
Yeah, your pupils. Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that whenever the sun was actually there, it was white instead of yellow.
Yeah, same.
But that's a whole thing that, we're not even going to get into.
Yeah.
So, Superman gets, charged up enough, and he goes and saves Metamorpho's baby. Then he goes and gets Crypto.
How did the dude not see? Like, you see.
Yeah, like what was the whole situation on that? Because I was like, it didn't take half a second for him to recover. Like, there's a whole thing going on over there.
Yeah, it's like across the street, there's a son and Superman.
Maybe
and I'm holding the baby. I'd have got up out of there. Like,
yeah, because wasn't he looking at this happen?
yes.
Because I thought his eyes were always on Metamorpho when he had the
Right.
baby.
It was.
So yeah, like him watching Metamorpho create a son. Yeah, like you probably, but
He-
I guess he couldn't just kill the baby because then Metamorpho has no reason to.
Not
Yeah,
do.
oh, true. I would have just left the baby and left. Like, there's no reason. I'm
So I just
getting.
left the baby on.
Yeah, I'm not getting murdered for this. Like, Lex left too. Oh no.
but that's the thing. I'm sure he figured Superman won't kill me, but Lex absolutely will.
Yeah.
True.
So
But I mean, Superman might accidentally.
yeah, but Superman, we've watched Superman go out of his way to make sure people don't die. So
True.
yeah, I mean, the movie's got to happen.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna let that movie happen. But Mr. Terrific subdues all of the goons and he goes into the pocket dimension and he's explaining like the fact that he has opened this pocket dimension as many times as he has is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised there's not already a black hole consuming the Earth right now. Like
Yeah.
that's what they see us. And so he goes in there and, he gets the T spheres and they start moving around. He's like, that river down there, we don't need anything to do with that.
Yeah.
That shit will rip you apart. So we're going to stay right up here.
Yeah.
And, bunch of stuff happens. We see Superman fighting some of the random goons. We see Metamorpho as a cloud just kind of floating. And yeah, there's a bunch of fightings. Eventually, they're all able to get out. Metamorpho uses the tentacles, and Superman uses the super breath to not fall into the black hole, etc., etc. Mr. Terrific leads them out. The portal closes. Everybody gets out. Everything's fine. So, they're like, hey, Superman needs to go somewhere safe to heal because he's still got kryptonite poisoning. So he goes to Smallville and he gets some words of advice from Jonathan Kent about, parents don't determine your destiny. Parents just give you tools and you do with that what you will.
Right.
So cool. Lex is made aware of the fact that Superman escaped. And that's when we see that obsession.
Yeah.
That's what, like, he is pissed.
Yeah.
And again, I thought that was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a small moment, but it was an important moment.
Yeah.
Where we see Lex lose it.
Yep.
Is this the part when he was pushing shit off the desk?
Yes.
He's like, pick that up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stupid, but I loved it. So, he's like, you know what? I will open up that pocket dimension remotely. And they're like, but Lex, it could destroy everything. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I will lure his ass out because we don't know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to kill him. So we're going to open it up and we're going to get his ass out here. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
So he opens it up. And again, this is where we see that Lex's goons are really just people because they are not about it.
Yeah.
They're like,
able to risk their lives.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want to do that. And he's like, no, that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So he also, in this moment, he says something terrible to Eve. And Eve is like, you know what? Fine. So she goes into the server room and she's like, hey, Jimmy, I'm going to send you everything. But in order for me to send it, you have to promise to spend a weekend with me.
A weekend is crazy.
The whole weekend?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, God damn it. I'm sorry that I'm that awful to be around. He's like, no, that's not, I didn't say
what you
that.
meant, Jimmy.
Yeah, but I didn't say, okay, the whole weekend? I mean, yes, sure. Yeah, we'll do that. The whole weekend. You got it. Like, he begrudgingly agrees. And And my thought is like, okay, Ultraman has super hearing, so probably can hear you in there.
Yeah.
But and Lex snatches her ass out of there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
right.
thought she was cooked, to be
Yeah, I was
honest.
like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
But so Jimmy ain't gonna have to worry about it. But
Jeez.
but yeah, she is able to send it, and it works out. She sends everything. And again, Jimmy opens it and it's just a bunch of selfies.
Yeah.
So luckily Lois looks at it and Lois is like, oh, she's a genius.
Yeah.
Look at the background. She sent you everything. She just hid it behind dumb selfies. We have all the evidence we need.
This gave me like Doctor Doom vibes. Luthor, what is it? Luthor, what it was called?
Yeah, when he was
Oh,
trying to, yeah.
yeah.
And the fact that, yeah, like at the end of the day, yeah, this was him trying, he was promised a country. And the problem is, there is a president in these United States
Yeah.
who has said multiple times that he plans to build high rises and, just build a bunch of luxury things over in a certain area of the
Mhm.
world. So it made me think of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not throwing out any names of anybody who has done such a thing or who has said such things. So uh Superman makes his way to Metropolis, and because Mr. Terrific is like, hey, there's a war happening. I understand that Baravia is about to, like, attack uh this country. I understand that that's happening. There are a lot of people going to die. However, the world could be destroyed.
Yeah.
Mainly Metropolis could be destroyed. Like, Metropolis could literally be ripped in half. I'm gonna need you to go handle that
Yeah.
because that's pretty serious. So he goes and he ends up fighting Ultraman and the engineer. I think that fight was really good in that it did create some real stakes.
Yeah.
And whenever Superman flew straight up into the air, I was like, perfect. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
Like,
That
it was the
was,
right thing to do.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like, that makes so much sense. That's what you do.
I
Like,
thought he was about to
Uh,
fly into the sun.
yeah, I
that's
thought,
also what
I
I
knew
thought.
he had a game plan. That's what I loved because sometimes they depict Superman as like this dumb, big brawn. Like he doesn't, if he can't punch you or laser beam,
Like, he doesn't
yeah,
think in fights.
right, exactly. Whereas this Superman was like, oh, okay, like I got a plan. Okay, let me go do this. And it was smart. And the fact that Lex was like, what is he doing? You know what I mean? I like that.
Yeah, I agree. Because yeah, I also thought he was going up to the sun because again, that's what I would do if I was
Yeah.
super. Yeah, I'm going up to the sun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, whenever he got up there and basically was about to seismic toss these two,
Yeah.
I was because the engineer was like, "I will not survive this,"
Yeah.
and Lex was like, "I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
He needs to die."
Right.
He says, I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like that's fine as long as he
Mhm.
dies before he lands.
Right.
We're good. Because yeah, like whenever the plan was all right, suffocate his ass. I was like, I mean, he can. And then they addressed that. They were like, can he hold his breath for an hour?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, but he's still got to breathe. Like,
Right.
if his lungs are full, then he can't really do a lot.
Yeah.
But it is good to know that the Superman has to breathe.
Yeah.
Because that is important. Because there
Mhm.
are sometimes he'd be in space or underwater and just unbothered,
Yeah. He be down there with Aquaman just chilling. I'm like, what?
chilling, without the little mouth
Yeah.
thing. But usually they give him a little mouth thing.
Right.
So, Superman is able to knock her out and, cough out all of the nanites that were in his lungs. And we see Ultraman get up. And then we see him pull off his little headpiece, and he is Superman with long hair. And again, lot of directions that we were going, a lot of assumptions that could have been made, but essentially we went the clone route.
Yeah.
Um, and they're fighting, and Lex is still calling shots. Lex is Superman getting his ass beat. It's not good.
Yeah.
And then and one of the things that Lex says earlier in the movie is like, brain beats brawn every time.
Mm.
Superman uses that same line, calls Crypto destroys all of the drones, so now Lex is not calling plays anymore. Ultraman is blind. And, they keep fighting. Superman is able to knock Ultraman into a black hole. So, good. We're done with that. And then over in Jaranpur, we see the Justice Gang. Because he's like, I sent my friends over there. Because we see them trying to rally. We see them put up a Superman sign. Superman has given them hope.
Yeah.
And they are, standing up to the bullies that are trying to oppress them. So Guy shows up and he's like, I know you called for Superman, but you got an upgrade. Wink.
Just crazy.
He did
Yeah.
that, and I was like, this guy.
I was like, that's perfect. That's Guy.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, that's Guy. So the gang and Metamorpho, they come through. They save the people. Again, Hawk Girl snatches up the president and is like, you won't kill me. And she's like, oh, you got me confused.
Yeah.
Drops his ass.
Again, loved that moment for her. So, because again, great for her, great for Superman in this version, this iteration of like, this Superman's not trying to be a killer, but it doesn't mean that everybody else is also not willing.
Right.
Yeah. Because there are often times when Superman and Batman are the only people that say no killing.
Yeah.
Everybody else, killing's on the table.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And again, especially Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
She has no problem with killing people. She's very much you know why I don't have a rogues gallery?
Yeah.
Because they get dealt with the first time.
Yeah.
I guess Flash has a no-killing policy, and Lanterns kind of have to live by one. Like, they're usually not authorized to use lethal force.
Yeah.
They have to override the ring in order to use lethal force. Everybody else, killing's fine.
Mm.
But anyway, so they're able to stop Baravia, and whenever Metamorpho compliments the name Justice Gang, Guy is like, oh yeah, you're in.
Oh my gosh.
Bro,
he hurt my feelings when he was like, that's so cool. And I was like, you're not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't feed into this.
Right.
But and again, Guy was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're in the gang.
Yeah.
That's because at first Guy was like, ew, no.
Which he definitely would. He definitely would judge Metamorpho off his looks.
That was a guy, again, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Like, that's good work. Like, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Even the goofy ass hair, like, all of it was so good.
I'm glad Lois addressed it.
Yeah.
That haircut should be against your brows. Such a good.
Yeah.
My what should be against what?
I thought, yeah, that was great. So now that everything is saved, Superman and Mr. Terrific pull up on Lex.
Can we just a little back when Mr. Terrific goes like, get up, come on, let's go. And he's like, I'm doing important stuff.
It's like, I'm trying.
Again, just the immediately making it like a lighthearted kind of thing again, it really worked well in this movie, I think. Just the
that was very James Gunn.
Yeah, I was like, that was a huge fight. And then him just being like, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not just doing nothing. Like,
right.
Yeah, what he said, like, I'm doing important stuff. Like, that was
just the way he worded it too.
Yeah, very James Gunn.
Yeah.
And credit to the actor for pulling that off, because that could have been
It's so
yeah, it could have been corny as hell.
Yeah, that very easily could have been like one of those scenes that we talk about as a miss.
Yeah.
But um in the terrific ship, Lois is like, "Hey, Jimmy, notate for me."
Yeah.
And she just starts going. Like, now that we have all the information, yeah, we're gonna get him. Perry reviews it. Perry's like, "Yep, we're good. Lock it in." And I thought it was great whenever Steve was like, "Hey, why don't I have a seat?"
Bro, that was low key. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but
It was
bro,
so good. The
like
Steve's moments were so short, but so.
always,
And
he was like 4 for 4.
Beck
And
Bennett was perfect.
Excellent.
bro, the
Like,
fact that they took off and he was like, I don't have a seat, and then the way she took, like Lois can't draw that thing like that, and yeah, that was funny, man.
it was so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, for the most part, James Gunn did an excellent job casting this.
yeah, yeah,
So Lois prints it. Yeah, Perry reviews it. Lois prints it, and yeah, the papers are like, "This just in: Lex ain't shit."
yeah,
Um, they reveal his secret, and one of the things that Lex says to Superman was, "I'm not. I how did he put it? He basically said, my goal wasn't to own half of a country so that I could fight you. I tried to buy half of a country so that I could
hmm
kill you.
right,
Like, plan A was for you to die. Buying the country was just a means to that.
yeah,
But don't be under the impression that buying the country was my motivation. And
yeah,
that's why we are in conflict now. No, you were the goal the whole time, and I could care less about owning some third world country. Like that ain't got nothing to do with this,
right,
really. I
hmm
wanted you. And that
Obsessed.
was that's the level of obsession that Lex comes with when it comes to super. Like, I
Mhm.
hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate you.
yeah,
Now, it is not Eobard Thawne levels of hate, but it is dangerously close. Like,
yeah,
it's probably number two.
yeah. I
But
agree.
yeah, like Lex was like, these are the lengths to which I was willing to go
Yeah.
to have you.
Yeah. Can I say too, when Superman does show up at Luthor Court, like that little run that Nick does away from the like
Oh
that
yeah.
split second little run was so good, I thought. Like
Like he saw him coming. I was like,
he's like, oh
let me
no.
hurry up.
Yeah, yeah, try to scoot. Nope.
Hey, I'm like, where are you
Yeah.
gonna run, my guy?
Right. Superman, dog.
And that's when Mr. Terrific was like, I know how to turn it off. Get your bitch ass out the way. I got it.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I
Yeah.
got it.
Oh, that was so good. He's like, move.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Terrific, god damn it. Uh
Yeah.
so yeah, he closes it, closes all of the splitting of, Earth, and everything is fine. Lex is put into a truck to go to Bel Rev, and Superman is loved by the public again, and everybody's released from the pocket dimension. And yeah, we see Eve find Jimmy.
Yeah. She found him. All right.
She found him. And she's like, now we can be together. And Jimmy's like, oh, yay.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so good. Um, so yeah, Superman is in the Fortress of Solitude, kicking it. And Supergirl shows up and she's drunk.
Yeah.
And they explain that.
Yeah.
They're basically like, she likes to visit planets with red suns where she can get drunk
She does.
because she
She
can't get
does.
drunk here.
She's like the opposite of Superman in many ways.
And I'm glad that they've because usually she was just the opposite of Superman in that she was immature and inexperienced.
Yeah.
But now they've given her a little more character because in the Supergirl show she was kind of just Superman as a
Hmm.
female.
Yeah.
But the Supergirl character that they've given us, like, she's a mess, kind of.
Yeah. Tom King did a great job. Like she's a superhero. She still, tries to save people, but she has a lot of flaw, a lot of demons she got to work through. And like that, I read that book and that was amazing. And that was my first time really being like I watched the CW show, but this is the first time I was like, damn, like Supergirl, like there's so much there. You know what I mean? Just her going from planet to planet. You know what I mean? And like basically not being able to fulfill the purpose she was sent out there to do. Like it was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she comes in drunk. And again, we find out that Crypto's her dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, we see Superman watching some old home movies of the Kents because those are his parents now.
Mm-hmm.
We see, I guess it's a mid-credit scene with him and Crypto just chilling, looking at the
Yeah.
moon.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Fine.
okay, because that's the moment where I was like, so Crypto is his dog,
Mm.
but
They can
isn't.
just he's still just pet sitting because
Yeah.
she went to another planet to party,
Yeah, sure.
So and he loves that dog anyway.
He does.
I would take I hang out with my sister's dog all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Um, so yeah, then we see some credits and Superman and Mr. Terrific are, looking at the building and Superman's like, it's
Yeah.
just it's a little bit you don't see that? Like how it's like not and Mr. Terrific is like, I fuck you mean I did the best I could.
Right.
Just fucking hate it. Like I hey, you get what you get. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that was also very James Gunn.
Yeah. Superman, sorry, man. I didn't mean to be a jerk. Like, yeah.
I could be so mean sometimes. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this sweet precious guy. Like he's
I was like, okay.
so kind.
It's funny.
So that's the movie. Jordan, as the person with the least Superman exposure, I would like to start with you. Now that we have discussed it, scale of 1 to 10, what are you thinking?
I think from the very beginning, like as I walked out the theater, I definitely always was leaning towards a 9, and I'm still going to say it's a 9. It was a really good movie.
He
Okay.
DC Jordan, okay.
And I know it's crazy.
Um, Brandon.
I am going to go. It is not a perfect movie, but it is the needed movie of the time. We did not need a dark Superman during these times, as we know it's kind of already dark outside. Uh, I would go with a 9.5.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to give it, I think I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Hmm.
I very much enjoyed it. I thought that a lot of things were done well, but I don't think it's quite a 9 for me personally.
Okay.
Cassidy.
I have an asterisk with mine. You give me these characters that it provided me with. It's a 10 out of 10 easily. It gave me the iterations of these characters I have missed and wanted and needed. Film itself is more 9.5 because there were some bits that I was like, oh, okay. But the overarching thing is like I'm leaning closer to it. It was the perfect movie for what I needed it to be
Hmm.
after just the previous iterations that we have been having of Superman.
And this is all about your own bias, your own feelings,
Yeah.
like your
Biased
number.
me said I have been telling everybody it's the best Superman movie that's been out in ages. So
So, what are you giving it?
10 10.
10 out
Okay.
of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me.
I respect.
Okay.
All right. You want to go into the last thing?
I think so.
All right. So we like to play a little game here. Rotten Tomatoes. I have the score pulled up. for the critic score and the audience score. And I will say I pulled it up at the beginning of the recording, and it has gone down 2 points, and then it went up 1 point, and I was very shocked to see that happen. But yeah, we are going to try to guess and see what the audience is thinking, what the critics are thinking, and it's whoever gets closest to the score without going over. Currently, Spencer has all-time wins, but Brandon's not too far behind. So, Spencer, it was a tie last time. So, Brandon, we'll start with you. Brandon, what do you think the critic score is?
I'll be honest, it's kind of cheating only because every time I scroll down my timeline, it's thrown in my face. But I do know that it has changed quite a bit. I feel like every time it's thrown in front of my face, it's different numbers. So I will say, which one do you say? I bet
The critic first.
critics. I'm gonna go an 84.
Okay. Spencer, what are you thinking?
I was thinking 87, but I mean, if Brandon has seen numbers, then the numbers don't fluctuate more than 2 or 3 points in a day. So we'll see what happens.
And then Cassidy, what are you thinking?
82.
And with a critic score with 355 reviews at the time of recording, Cassidy, you actually win this one. It is sitting at a 83%. Um,
Mm.
I mean, Brandon would have won this one, but yeah, the newcomer has come through and won. Now the audience score, Cassidy, we will go to you first. What are you thinking the audience score is?
I want to put the audience score at an 88.
Okay, 88. Brandon, what are you thinking?
Think it's a lot of excitement for the movie. I haven't seen as much about audience. I'm gonna go with a 94.
And then Spencer, what are you thinking?
91.
And at the time of this recording, sitting with 10,000 plus reviews, the audience score is sitting at a 93%. So Spencer actually won this
Bro,
one.
this is ridiculous.
Yeah, pulling
You you can take
Spencer's. Oh, go
solace in
ahead.
knowing that you were closest, Brandon.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that brings Spencer's total wins up to 19. Brandon has 12 wins, but overall wins, Spencer has 8 and Brandon has 1. And there's 7 ties.
Okay.
Right.
And it might be a 94 tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, it literally went like when I first pulled it up, it was sitting at an 84. It went down to 82, and then went to 83. Want to refresh it one more time?
Mm. Either way, great news. I will say, me and Jordan did bet.
Yes.
We made a bet. We said which movie will have a larger box office. Now, did we
Opening
say opening
weekend.
weekend, or did we
Opening
just say
weekend.
okay, opening
So
weekend?
we'll have to check the numbers for this like on Tuesday or something once they get all the
Yeah,
totals.
between Superman and Fantastic Four, I said Superman. Jordan, of course, for some reason or another, picked Fantastic Four. So far, looking a little rough for you, but
I haven't seen any numbers yet. So I'm
it's
gonna check it out
it's
Tuesday.
it's already the largest grossing movie of the year.
Well, I
Um,
mean that's not saying much.
it's
They're like,
actually
oh, it did better than Thunderbolts.
The issue
Yeah.
with Fantastic Four is you're going to get the comic crowd, but also the Pedro Pascal crowd.
And the
I have
MCU
friends that
crowd.
have no interest in Fantastic Four that will be going.
I
See,
just
look at that.
Superman's a global IP.
Well, I
Fantastic
don't
Four
disagree.
is
I think Superman. I hope it's a great Fantastic Four film. But I have a friend that has no interest in Superman, but she's going to go with me to Fantastic Four because.
Because of Pedro, you got to look at that.
Marvel. It's an MCU movie. You know what I mean?
I guess we'll see. Anything else?
That is all. Look in the sky. Superman back.
Yeah. Thank you, Cassidy, for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And with that being said, we're never duplicated.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.